Hey guys, it's it's May to December, it's me, and you know what? It's time for the horror Blu-ray overview. Now, most people, you know, I've got a horror overview, oh yeah, it's only 20 titles. Bullshit! You've got a horror collection. You look at this. Oh, that's right. And that goes 3 stacks behind as well. That's 8 stacks we're going to get through. And I'm telling you this right now. This is going to be epic. Epic. And here we go. You ready? We're going to get started. But first of all, I just want to say it's been a long time coming. I've been a bit lazy. You know, like fellow YouTuber Sketchney said, when you've got too many movies, you don't really want to list them one by one. But you know what? I'm not lazy. I'm going to do it because my subscribers want me to, and I know my subscribers love me, and I love them, and I'm going to show them the passion. That's right. Not the passion of the crust from Gingerbread Man. Is it? No, Ginger Dead Man, isn't it? Yeah, Ginger Dead Man. But the passion of movie buying, the passion of movie talking, and the passion of the Blu-rays. So to make sure this doesn't get too long, because you're looking at getting 3 hours worth, I reckon, from this. So what I recommend now is you get yourself a drink, you get yourself something to eat, you do what you need to do, and then you watch it. So here we go. We're going to get started. You ready? We're going to get rid of all the obvious ones first. Okay. So let's just move this out of the way. Oh dear. So, hope you're all doing well. And we're going to get started right now. Are you ready? So first of all, we've got the complete Chucky collection. It's not in there because it's upstairs, but I thought if I just show the box, that'd be good enough. Let's go Child's Play 1, 2, 3. Buy the Chucky, see the Chucky, curse the Chucky. Now, Child's Play 1 is a bit dated now. It's good, but it's dated. Child's Play 2 was great. Child's Play 3 got really stupid with Andy in the army. Bride of Chucky was great with Jennifer Tilly and her being a puppet as well. I really thought it was more of a comedy than a horror. See the Chucky is just dreadful. And them having a baby and it not knowing if it's man or woman. I don't like that. Curse of Chucky was alright, but it was a bit far-fetching for a story, if you ask me. A bit over the top, you know? Then we've got the Friday the 13th Complete Collections tin box set. Yeah, that's right. Every film up to date. So we've got Friday the 13th Classic. Love Jason Voorhees' mother in that. She's what a real mother's all about. Somebody kill your kids, somebody responsible for it, you go out there, you stab them, you kill them, you do whatever you can to them. Because it's hurts your kids and you're a good parent, you'll kill for them. Birthday Part 2, not bad. You learn that Jason's got some serious mother issues. It's understandable. She did die for him. Part 3, all I remember is some black guy getting his arm cut off. Yeah, you know how it is. The final chapter, Corey Feldman playing with himself and making himself bold and going, hey, Jason, and then go, oh, and then chopping his head in. Yes, that's right. A new beginning. It's not Jason, it's some guy pretending to be Jason. Bit pathetic, but fun. Plus, I like the fat guy who gets killed. Jason Lives is when he gets brought back to life by stupid fucking Tommy, trying to stab his thing, and he brings him back to life from the electricity, from a lightning bolt. Yeah, fuck you, Tommy. New Blood, can't remember it. Jason Takes Manhattan, a true classic, where he gets on that boat and is killing people. Love it. And we're also in Manhattan, and he just punches that guy and his head comes flying off. Fantastic. Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Shit. It's kidney or liver or whatever it is taking over people's bodies. What a pile of shit. But it does have a good ending where you see basically Freddy Krueger's hand come up and take him, because you're like, oh, are we gonna have a Freddy versus Jason? Oh no, that would be epic. And then you get Jason X, and you're like, oh, I guess not. Where he ends up in space. Every horror person ends up in space eventually. Michael Myers hasn't, but he should be, right? Imagine Michael Myers in space, the final frontier, and him killing people like Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard, and all that. That'd be awesome. Then you get Freddy versus Jason, which I really liked the first time I watched it. I still do. I think the best bit is when Kelly Rowland gets killed. That's great. And the bit where the worm thing is thingy, it's hysterical. But the right person won. Jason beat Freddy Krueger technically because he had his head off, and I thought that was the best way to end it. Because technically, Freddy is all about the nightmares. It's not about reality. So I thought that was the best way to end it, you know? Friday the 13th, the remake. Yep. Get that out and burn it, because that's awful. Yep, James, I know it's got Joe Paletti in it, or whatever his fucking name is, but he absolutely sucks in it. It's got no charisma, nothing. So, yeah, I kind of hated him. But, you know, each their own. You know, I just like pointing out a little dig in there, because James knows I can't stand Joe Paletti, or whatever it is. You know, I can never say that guy's name properly. Okay, so we've done Chucky. We've done Friday the 13th. Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, we can do it because it's right here. Now we're getting on to the big daddy of them all. Halloween. Yes. The best bit about Halloween is after he kills that bloke and the guy's stuck on the door and Michael goes like this. Like, there's that innocence to Michael, like, he's killing people, but there's that real innocence deep down, like, does he know what he's doing? Is he playing a game with them? You know, and the annoying thing is, they changed his character in 2 and all that onwards, because you just wanted to know what he was all about. You wanted to know more about him, you know? So, yeah, you got Halloween, the original. Then you've got Halloween, the 35th anniversary edition. Yeah, this is limited edition now. I think this has gone rare and out of print. I was late to get this one because now they do it in a shitty Blu-ray case. Now, come on, if you could get a chance to get this one, why would you want it in a Blu-ray case? Look at that. Oh, let me see. Oh, beautiful. Seen John Carpenter as a young man? Mwah, 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 John Carpenter. A true genius of what he did. He created the best horror killer in the world. But yeah, this is great. And the best thing about it is it's got a different transfer. And depending on who you are, you'll like the original transfer, you'll like this one. It depends on if you're a purist or so forth. It's got extra features. I like a new audio commentary, which is excellent. Everybody wants to see an audio commentary, you know what I'm saying? Then we've got Halloween 2 from Universal. Alright? This, I was so glad to get this. I love this movie. Number 2 is my second favourite. I love the whole hospital setting. I like it when he goes over that fucking nurse by the back of the head and he pushes her head down in the water and burns it. That's one of my favourite bits. And when the bloke slips on the blood, awesome. Love it. And the bit where Dr. Loomis blows the place up with him and Michael inside, fantastic. Love it. Awesome. On this version, you get Terror in the Aisles, which is a whole documentary on horror movies. And it's a good documentary. I recommend picking this up just for that, if you've got this copy. That's right. Halloween 2 again. Yep. And this is from Shout Factory with the original cover and with the slipcase. And this one is worth buying as well because, hold on, it's got a whole lot of special features, but it's also got the TV version on there as well. It's got the making of Halloween 2. And the TV version is a lot different, but I definitely recommend getting both versions because, in my view, they're both worth the money. Oh, and the Terror in the Aisles one is done by Donald Pleasance, so it's worth that alone. So yeah, Halloween 2 and 1 I've got twice, but obviously separate editions, and well worth it. Excuse me for the burp. Worth the money. And yeah, that's right, worth the money. And then we've got Halloween 3. There's no Michael Myers to be seen, just Tom Atkins walking about going, ah, yeah, that's it. He was trying to get in the Terminator films. Yeah, not Terminator, Robocop films, because he's a bastard, that's right. And basically masks take people over and so forth, and everybody was like, where's Michael? Where's Michael? We all want Michael. Well, guess what? Michael wasn't fucking in it, so get over it. Anyway, that's going to be the last time I swear unless it's a really bad film. So Halloween 3, not a bad film, but no Michael Myers to be seen. Dull. You know, if you want Michael, that is. Halloween 4, starring Danielle Harris. Yeah, this movie, I don't know, I wasn't very keen on the mask. The mask looked a bit creepy to me, creepy in a horrible way. It looked like he had his face burnt completely, but he looked like one of the white chicks from the film White Chicks of the Wayans brothers. You know what, I kept expecting him to pop out and go, "Hey girlfriend, what's going on?" So, you know, the Return of Michael Myers, it wasn't that great, but, you know, it's one for the collection. There is some good kills in it. Halloween 5. Yes, that's right, Halloween 5. I like this one. This one makes me feel good. What I like about these is it's got commentaries with Danielle Harris on them. And there's things in there where she says Pill won't be asked to do now because obviously it won't be safe, you know, because of all this health and safety stuff. Well, we don't care about the actors and actresses. If they're getting in a car and it blows up, sayonara, baby, goodbye. It was a good scene. At least it's real. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, not bad. When I was younger, this was my favourite one at the Halloweens. Don't ask me why, because I don't know. It's got Paul Rudd in it, and that is Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. That's right. I always loved this one as a kid. I always thought this was the best one. Probably because I like the fact that he's chasing her at the beginning. And I kept thinking it was some sort of, you know, Michael Myers cult. And that they had him have sex with her and, you know, they got her up the duff. You know, like EastEnders. I'm really weird tonight. I'm hyper. I had sex, so I'm really hyper. Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. I really like this film, but I do like 1 and 2 more now as I've got older. But this was my favourite one when I was a kid. Awesome. Paul Rudd in it is hysterical. I think he plays Tommy, the kid who was at the beginning of the first one. Yeah, I think he does actually. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you anything, but yes, I think it was. And he goes, "I was the little boy, but Jamie looked after." Well, Laurie, but Laurie looked after, and I believe because I saw Michael. You know, it was good. Then we get the terriblest Halloween of all, Halloween H2O. Do you know what? I originally watched this with my mother when I was a kid. And through the whole film, me and my mum were shouting, "Kill somebody, God damn it! Kill somebody!" Because, you know, there was somebody in the toilets, he stole their keys, drove off. In the original films, he would have just killed them. You know, would have flushed her head down the toilet or something. The best bit is where she goes face to face with him up against, like, the glass thing. That's great, because he looks psycho. But I think there's only, like, 3 murders in the whole film. And it's dull. For the 20th anniversary, it's terrible. Let's hope the 30th anniversary one's better. Then we've got Halloween Resurrection. Oh yeah, that's another thing horror films do nowadays. If everyone have ideas and they can't go to space, we'll make an internet webcam show in a house or in a place where they'll kill us. That's right, because we've run out of ideas, so we're going to make some stupid ones to do with now. Scream did it, Halloween did it, Friday the 13th did it with space, you know, the Leprechaun went to space. But anyway, this film was dreadful, right? The guy at the end does kung fu against Michael Myers and beats him, right, with kung fu, and he's a black guy. A black guy doing kung fu. Now, I know they're obsessed with kung fu, and I know you get some really good ones, but in a Michael Myers movie, he should have been butchered. Because of the stereotypes in horror movies. You know, you have sex, you die. You're black, you die. You know, these are the things that used to be in horror movies all the time. They don't do it anymore. There's no classic elements to horror movies anymore. And if they are, they get ruined. So this movie was really disappointing. Now, I have got the remake of Halloween by Rob Zombie somewhere, but I can't find it. So let me just tell you, it butchers the whole Halloween universe. It's dreadful. Seeing Michael Myers as a kid ruins the whole aspect of what was he like. Seeing the beginning of the original one where as a kid, you don't know anything about him. His family being trailer trash and shit in the remake just ruins it. I hated it. Terrible movie. Now, Halloween 2. the remake, right? The remake of number 2, the continuous one by Rob Zombie. Again, another thing about the first one. What's he doing taking his mask off and when he kills people putting it on? It's like, what? I hate this movie. I hate Rob Zombie. He might as well be a zombie because his films are terrible, right? Anyway, Halloween 2. The best bit in this movie is when the coroners are driving, or I think they're coroners, and they crash into a cow, and then Michael Myers gets out and slices the guy's throat, and you're like, what? What is going on? Right? And then at the end, his mum is like an angel, comes down on a leprechaun, not a leprechaun, a unicorn or something, and she's like, Michael, Michael, and Michael's like this. Mummy, mummy, you know, in the eyes, and you're like, oh no, you're ruining the character, you're ruining him. And now you got the third one coming out in 3D. The new one came out in 2018, I think. Well, that's what it says at the moment. And you're like, no, no, make it good, make it good. You know, it's like, fuck, you know. Anyway, so let's get on. Poltergeist. That's right, Poltergeist. I saw this as a kid. I don't remember much about it, but this is a nice little digibook. I got this out of CEX for $5. I thought that was a real bargain. But yeah, I can't say much about it because I don't remember seeing it. Clockwork Orange. Another one I haven't seen, so I can't say much about it. If I haven't seen them, I'm not going to say much about them. But if I have seen them, I'm going to give kind of like little views of them. That way I make the video quicker as well. Crystal Lake Memories, the complete history of Friday the 13th. Now, this is quite good. I bought this and I got the exclusive bonus disc with it from the site. And I enjoy this and I like it, but it's so bloody long. But you just get a bit bored because you're like, oh, 4 or 5 hours. You're like, I'll watch it later. And that's the first disc. So I haven't watched all of it, but I enjoyed it because it gives you some real good history about the people involved. Like, you know, like one of the women in it was in American Ninja 1. I didn't even realise she was in it until I watched this. This is great to have if you're a big Friday the 13th fan. Like, the Never Sleep Again film is great for people who are big fans of, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street. So I recommend that. Oops. Then we've got Predators. I haven't seen it, but I've seen 1 and 2. Number 1's a great action movie. The best bit is when he rolls in the mud. And Arnie, that is, rolls in the mud in the first one. And the Predator can't see him. And when the Predator's dying, you see his face and you're like, whoa, I'd like to give that a big kiss. Mwah, because he's so handsome. That Predator's better looking than Arnie. And then you've got number 2 with Danny Glover, right? Where he kills this Predator, and all these other Predators turn up, they lift him up, and they give him like this stick. And they say, or dagger or something, I can't remember. And they don't kill him. What a load of crap. So basically, in the first one, they're killing them for no reason. The second one is chasing one, which has been killing. And then they say, oh, we're best friends with you, it's okay. Come here, give us a hug, here you go, here's a gift, sayonara, see you later, baby. Right? You're like, what? You know. And then you've got Alien vs Predator, which is an awesome movie, but it's so cheesy. Like the bit where he pulls his mask off and puts the acid from the aliens on his face to mark how many he's killed. It's just like, what? And his relationship with Samuel Lana, is it? I can't remember. But you know what I'm talking about. Have you seen the film? It's like, why they look at each other and then running? It's just like, what the hell? I haven't seen Alien vs Predator 2, and I shouldn't talk about them because they're not in the collection. But yeah, I haven't seen Predators. Then we've got Psycho. Yeah, Psycho, the big daddy of them all, if you ask me. Psycho from Universal. Let me tell you something about this film. I watched this film when I was 6 years old. Right? I think a lot of people did. Right? Obviously, it was long before after it came out. This film, to me, is one of the top 10 horror films, let alone films of all time. Norman Bates is so realistic. It could happen. It's true. Anthony Perkins is an amazing actor. The shower scene's awesome. The finale's awesome, where he's talking to himself in the cell, and he kills the fly. And it's just awesome. If you haven't seen this, I recommend you go out right now, or you go on Amazon and you buy Psycho, because this is the greatest one. Not that crappy one with Vince Vaughn. No, the Vince Vaughn one is dreadful. If you see it in the shop, buy it and bury it, burn it, break it, throw it in the bin, do whatever you can with it. But get this one, the one with Anthony Perkins, Alfred Hitchcock, Psycho. I'm feeling a bit psycho actually at the moment. Then we've got Underworld, a great action horror movie. I have to admit, I don't think much of these. I just find them fun for the action. And I've only ever really seen 1 and 2, I think, if I'm correct. One, so I've got this one, and I've got this one. Yeah, 1 and 2, but so I've still got to see them. And well, I've seen 1 and 2, but I haven't seen them in years, so I don't remember much about them. Then I've got Underworld, Rise of the Lycans, which was completely different. It still had some of the people in it, like Bill Nighy and all that. And I haven't seen it, but I know it's got Rhonda Mitra in it, and at one point she was the most sexiest woman in my life on TV. She was in Nip Tuck, Doomsday, Ali G in the House. I just want to give it to her real good. So that's why I bought this originally. Then we've got Underworld Awakening. I haven't seen it, but I picked it up for $5, so can't say much about that. Then I've got the 4 volumes of the Masters of Horror Season 1, which are all different, obviously, horror films, which are now belong from directors. I've seen some of them, but to be honest with you, I haven't seen them in years, so I'm not going to mention them. I'm just going to say I've got the collection of them. So, you know, let's show you again properly, because I didn't get up. There we go. So, then I've got Night Watch and Day Watch, again, which is another film I haven't seen, or films I haven't seen, so I can't say much about that at the minute. There we go, we're getting on some I've seen now. Then we've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, this film came out before the series, and is it Kirsty Swanson? Yeah, it is it's Christy Swanson. Now, I like Luke Perry. I was a big fan of Beverly Hills 90210 back in the day. Yeah, I know, sad, pathetic loser, mate, right? But I liked it, right? Well, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, let me move over a bit. That's right. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I like it. I think it's a bit cheesy. Donald Sutherland and all that relationship thing. Nothing like the relationship she has with Giles in the series, but saying that, to be honest with you, they had 7 seasons. They had, what, 85 minutes to do this. For a cheesy, fun teen vampire movie, it's great, you know. It's awesome, but it's nowhere as good as the TV series, if you ask me. But yeah, Buffy. Then we've got the Giallo, which I'm classifying as horror, just so I don't have to do my own one and redo this. The Stendhal Syndrome, which has Asia Argento in it, which is really weird because it starts off interesting. She has these things where she can see paintings move, and she kind of goes in them, kind of thing, and faints. And then she witnesses this guy raping women and shoot them in the head, and he does it in front of her, and then eventually she kills him, and after that it just turns to crap. It's like awesome before that. You're like watching these women get raped, and that's not the awesome part. And it's just terrifying. You're like, oh, imagine having to be sat there watching that. Oh, right? But it just seems to get worse after that. Really bad, you know? So I was a bit upset with that because I'm a big Dario Argento fan, and this is one of his films. Then we've got Mirrors 1 and 2. Now, I haven't seen these either, so I'm not going to comment on these, but I own them, so I'm looking forward to watching them. I got them for $4.99 each. Then we got Starship Troopers Marauder, which is another film I haven't seen. I've seen the original one. I did like it at the time, but I've never seen this one. City of Life and Death. Basically, it's about people getting killed in the war. I accidentally put it in this pile instead of being in the right pile, so I apologise for that because it's not a horror film unless you find prisoner of war things horrific, which they are, but it's still, you know, war thing. So then we've got Doubt, which is another film I think is a drama, not a horror. So Murder Obsession, which is another Galileo movie, but this is from Raro Video, and I haven't seen this yet, and I'm going to be saying a lot of that because I've got my watch section and my non-watch section here. Luckily for you guys, more of it I've watched. Then we've got The Wicker Man with Nicolas Cage. This was $2 in my local shop. That's the only reason I bought it. The terrible CGI, the terrible death, the whole film is dreadful. You want to ruin a classic, you put Nicolas Cage in the movie. I mean, come on, right? The original Wicker Man with Edward Woodward was terrifying. It was awful. This was just dreadful. It was terrifying putting it in the DVD player or Blu-ray player because it's Blu-ray. It was just terrible, you know? But I had to buy it for $2 because, well, it's part of the horror collection, you know? Yeah. Let's have a look. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Now, I haven't watched this, but I saw the trailer, and the trailer made it look fun, and I did get it for $4.99, so. Then we've got Intruders, which is another horror movie I haven't seen, obviously by the sealedness. I've heard good things about it. Hopefully, it'll be good and not bad. Well, at least it's getting through it quicker. Aha! Then we've got The Collector. Yeah, that's right. This is from the makers of Saw, or is it the producers? From the writers of Saw 4, 5 and 6. Now, Saw 6 sucks. Saw 5, the ending was awesome. Do you know, I watched Saw 5 in the cinema alone. There was no one else in there in the middle of the day. Awesome. Get back to that later. The Collector. Now, Arkin basically goes to the house. He realises he can steal this big, massive diamond thing to save his family. So he goes back there at night. Turns out there's all these traps and there's people in boxes and everything. And there's a guy there called the Collector who wears a mask and is impenetrable to death. That's right. This guy's terrifying. And you're like, woo! Like, it's this great bit where this bloke falls back and he gets in bear traps. Awesome. This bloke wears feet and nails inside the box. Awesome. Right? I want to see more violence. The bit where he throws the dead body in the room with him. Awesome. The ending. Awesome. I really love this movie. It's bad, I know, to a degree, but it's an awesome movie if you like a kind of bad action horror movie. I did like it. I liked it a lot. Then we've got The Collection. That's right, that was The Collector. This is The Collection. And I have to admit, I didn't know what they'd do with it, but the beginning scene the beginning scene's great, where they're all dancing in the nightclub and it's like, ooh, and they're like, yeah, let's party, baby. Oh yeah, night fever, night fever. And you're like, it's awesome, right? And then all of a sudden, this big thing comes, like this big thing where you get chopping people, like, oh no. Right, and then there's this deaf girl who's the main character in this, and she's watching her friend get crushed as the Collector presses his button, and they're like, no, and he goes down, and you're like, oh, I wish I could do that. That would make me so happy. So then basically she goes missing, and these people go looking for her, from what I remember, and basically they're army guys that absolutely suck. And there's this one guy there basically, who was in Wayne's World, yeah, with long hair as a camera guy, yeah, right, and basically, he's the big daddy of it all, and they're going after it with Arkin, because Arkin remembers where he was because he got away, and basically you got these zombie people and all this stuff. It's just ridiculous, but it's fun, but the ending's great, but you want to know what happens. Arkin finds him and throws him in a box. And you want to see the next movie where he's just tortured him to death for the whole 90 minutes. Because that's what I want to see. You know, because a lot of people are going, oh, Arkin's going to become the collector now. Really? He hasn't got the balls to. Then we've got I Saw the Devil, which is the Asian Blu-ray, which is fully uncut. I haven't seen this movie, but it's very brutal. It's about a man who kills people and basically ends up killing this agent's wife. And basically the agent, Lee Bun-yun, goes, that's Lee Min-sik, him there, Lee Bun, or whatever his name is the one who goes after him because he takes it personal, basically. Him, I love him. He's in A Bittersweet Life, which is one of my favourite movies. That's why I bought it. Then we've got A Nightmare on Elm Street collection. Now, A Nightmare on Elm Street 1, probably the best one technically out of them all because it's true horror, really action-packed. And Johnny Depp's in it. It was Johnny Depp's first movie. And to be honest with you, he looks really young. You won't think it was him. You can tell it's him, but you won't think it if you didn't think about it on the spot. The best bit is when the girl goes in the air and then she dies. That's great, when she's getting cut open. Awesome. But number 2 is my favourite, with all the gayness in it, like the bit where he pops it out of his penis thing, and where he's sticking the tongue out, it's purple, and where he's watching his coach getting whipped, and all this other stuff. I love it. But the best bit in it is when Freddy Krueger talks to them all, and they go, and the bloke goes, "What's the matter? We can help you. It's all going to be okay." And Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger goes, "Help yourself, fuck that." He goes, I love it. That's my favourite movie out of all of them. Dream Warriors is great because I love the scene. I love the scene in Dream Warriors where they're puppets, and he's doing that with it. Great. And where he fights them all, like the drug addict one, and I love that movie. Dream Master, Dream Child, I don't remember at the minute. I can't remember. The Final Nightmare, I don't really remember. The New Nightmare, I watched recently. And it's like a parody of the films because it's like Freddy's come to life kind of thing, but it's about the actual cast and crew. So instead of oh, I can't remember what her name was in the first one. Instead of basically, I think it was Nancy. Instead of her being Nancy, she's herself, and basically the killer goes around killing them and that. I haven't watched all of it, but you know, the New Nightmare, was never keen on it. I always liked the first 3 the most, but then I don't remember the other 3, so I'll have to rewatch them. Then we've got Deadly Blessing, which is an Amish community of evil people with women with great underwear on. See? Great underwear, that's it. If you live in an Amish land and you have great underwear, it makes you great. Now, I've never seen this film. I've owned it for a while, but I've never seen it. So I'm not going to talk about it, obviously, because I haven't seen it. Oh, okay. Then we've got Night of the Demons, the first one. Now, I need to pick up the second one. I haven't seen this, but I'm waiting for the second one before I do. Most people watch the first one and then buy the second one if they like it. Me, I can't watch it until I've got the whole collection of it released. So, Night of the Demons, and then I've got what's supposed to be kind of like the remake or another make of it in 2009, Night of the Demons 2009. Now, from the trailer, this looks appalling. Nothing compared to this, from what I saw. But who knows? I'm looking forward to watching them both and seeing what happens. Got this for $3. So I got this for $3. Got this one for $17. So I've got them for $20 technically. It's not a lot. Ooh. Okay. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Never seen it. Gonna see it. So I'm not going to say anything about it because I haven't seen it. Ah, here we go. Scream, the movies. Now, what I like about this set is it's got Still Screaming, the Ultimate Scary Movie retrospective, and it's got Scream, the Inside Story. 2 documentaries. I like that. That's an awesome addition to this. And they're both on their own separate discs as well, which makes it even better. So, Scream 1. Scream 1, I watched when I was a kid. me and my mum put on Scream 2 on VHS. And all it kept doing was referencing Scream 1. Billy Loomis, Stu, you know, everything that happened. And we were like, really? There was a Scream 1, even though it said 2 on the cover. Duh. And Scream 2 was great. We really enjoyed it. It really made us go out and buy number 1. So we bought number 2 pre-owned for £4, which is about, you know, £4 off the market. When we went and looked for Scream 1, it was $15.99 on VHS. This is how old it is now. When Walrus was still about. When I was a kid. Right? And we picked it up, and that night we put it in and we watched it. And we absolutely loved the original. Billy Loomis is my idol. Yes. Everybody goes crazy sometimes. You know, I love it. Right? Did I agree with the ending? No, I thought it was stupid. The bit where they stabbed each other before they killed her. Ridiculous. Jamie Kennedy getting shot in the arm was great. I loved it. It was annoying for the whole movie. Number 2, he gets put in a van and murdered. Fantastic. They stuck by the rules of the original horror, you know. Don't say I'll be right back. Don't be black, you know. Don't have sex, because you'll die if you're not a virgin anymore. You know, stuff like that. And the first one was fantastic. I loved it. The second one's pretty good as well. You know, but it was a bit weird that it turned out to be Billy Loomis's mother and a guy she met offline. I mean, why didn't he just kill her? You know, why didn't Mickey kill her? Because the best piece of Tiffany for goes like Billy Loomis's mother. It was just great. You know, I love that bit. And the boyfriend in number 2. I think I love you. It's not what life is made of. You know, you're like, this guy, he's the killer. Right? But he's not. He's just a lazy bastard who doesn't care about her. Just wants to get in her panties all the time. Then you've got Scream 3. That's where it starts getting terrible. Where there's a film of Stab being made, and they've got the actors playing them with them, basically. And Dewey, is it Dewey? Yeah, it's Dewey, right? David Arquette's character. He's dating the one who's supposed to be Gal Weathers. And all this. And the one who's supposed to be Gal Weathers is dreadful. She ain't no Gal Weathers. You know. And she goes like this, you're but Steve, my lawyer, and all that. And you're like, oh. And then the big reveal at the end, but it turns out it's her half-brother. Oh, give me a laugh. How many people want to kill Sydney? First it's Billy Loomis, because her father took away his mother. Yeah. Right, so you're like, fuck that, with Stowe, his best friend. Then you've got Billy Loomis's mother with some strangers she met online. Mickey. And then number 3, you've got her brother. Now, I can't remember what his name was, but it's her brother. It's her half-brother. And you're just like this. You're just like, no. And you think you thought it couldn't get any worse. Well, guess what? It does. It's Scream 4. Remember what I said earlier about how if they run out of ideas, they go to technology with the webcam shows? Well, Scream 4 did that. And the black guy died in this. That's right. I think it was Anthony Anderson. I think. Yeah, it was. Anthony Anderson dies in this because he's the token black guy, I think. And there is a police officer in it again. And basically you've got bloody Shelby, you know, Hayden Pantier. You've got some weird guy who likes recording murders. And it's just dreadful. I hated this movie. I was looking forward to this. And when I watched it, I was like, oh, no. You know? I felt like I was in a horror film. Watching a horror film, like a parody. It's dreadful. And then the big reveal where it turns out to be the boy. I think it's the boy. Yeah, the boy. And it turns out to be her niece. Now, where did her sister come from? But dropped off Emma Roberts. I don't remember having any sister, you know, and basically it turns out to be a niece. So technically, let's get this right. First one, Billy Loomis, boyfriend, right, and friend, right. Second one, Billy Loomis's mother and stranger. Number 2, no, sorry, that's number 2. Number 3, half brother. Number 4, niece and guy who thinks he's getting action. And you're like, ugh. So, number 4 was dreadful. If you like the original Screams, that is, if you just like watching a random horror movie, which isn't that great, then it's great for you. But if you like, you know, Scream for what it was originally, yeah. Life Force, which is an Italian horror film or sci-fi film, you can never tell. It looks like a horror film, that's what I put in it. I've never seen it. I'm going to get round to it. It's got 2 cuts, and it looks interesting. That's the original cover. And there's the original cover, which is nicer, I think, than that, to be honest. Then we got an Umberto Lenzi film. Yeah, I love Umberto Lenzi. He's awesome. I love him. I would love to meet the guy. Now, that's a guy who I think's great. Not as good as Dario Argento, but he's good. And this is Nightmare City. This is a zombie movie, basically, but the zombies, they don't go like this. They don't go, ooh, boings. They run about with axes and guns, shooting people and stabbing people. They're very action-packed zombies, which are a bit silly, really. But I think they've got more of an infection than being zombies, even though they're called zombies in the film. And you've got this guy who's got no charisma running about, going, no, right? And then at the end, you've got the big reveal where it turns out it was in his dream. And then he goes to the place, and are they really coming? Was it like Final Destination where we had a warning? Who knows? They don't tell you. Then we've got World War Z. Now, me and Donna bought this when I visited over a year ago, and we really want to watch it. We still haven't watched the movie. You know, I could probably get this for $5 now. I still haven't watched it. Do I like Brad Pitt? Not really. But I'm looking forward to seeing a zombie movie. Apparently it's supposed to be really good with him in. So, we'll see. Then we've got the original Carrie. Yeah, that's right. The original. Now, this is a real crazy little flick. You know what I mean? You've got John Travolta in there and Sissy Spacek. I love John Travolta getting butchered and killed in this movie. I wish he got killed in every movie he was in. And this was before he had the real chubby cheeks and looked like a chubby chaser. Yeah, it looked like he'd been eating too many hot dogs. You know, this is 1976. So when you think about it, that'd be nearly 40 years ago in 2 years. That's crazy. But yeah, this movie, I remember watching this for the first time, and it was horrifying. This film scared me witless when I was a kid, and it was so thingy, but that's what you want in a horror film. You want a film that scares you and makes you want to keep watching. And the sad thing is, most of us, the real horror movies we had, which we enjoyed, were when we were kids. Because we didn't have that knowledge of how films were made. We didn't have that knowledge of any of it. And it made it so special. And now, it's like every movie that gets chunked out almost is dreadful. Let's go back to the 70s. Let's go back to the 80s. Maybe early 90s, you know? 80s and 70s were the classic time for our generation. You know, 20s, 30s. Well, my generation, I should say. Anyone who's watching this who's like 10, 12 or whatever, won't have a clue what I'm on about. They'll like the crap like fucking... like the new Carrie original. Now, I haven't seen this Carrie, and I've heard it's good, but I'm talking about, you know, it's just a newer film. I'm not talking about the actual film, but people like newer, crappy films, you know, and they're terrible, you know, unless it's slashers. Slashers is best. Slashers. 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 Yeah. Slashers. And then I've got the remake of Carrie, which has got this nice lenticle sleeve, which is awesome. I love this. I haven't seen the film yet, though. I haven't watched it. But I'm going soon. James said it was pretty good at my DVD review, so I probably will not watch it anytime soon. No, so I will probably watch it soon. Then we've got The Last Exorcism. Now, this is a horror movie, but I don't know about anyone else, but I found this to be hysterical. The bit where he's holding the cross and he presses a button to make it burn his hand and that. Oh, I was in tears of laughter. I couldn't help laughing at this film. It was great. This is one of the best comedy movies I've ever seen. A great horror, a great comedy. The girl in it is just funny as hell. I love it. I love this film. This film is awesome. Then we've got The Last Exorcism 2, which is a film I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to say I just haven't had the time to watch movies lately. Otherwise, I'd have got through a lot of these by now. So I'm sorry that I'm saying this a lot, but I haven't watched them. I haven't watched it. Woohoo! We got through one pile. Okay, next part. The remake of Day of the Dead, starring Vin Rhames' brother. That's right, to the guy in the remake of Dawn of the Dead, Charlie Chan. And that's what I'm going to call him. This movie's nowhere as good as the original. It's fun if you like zombie movies. It's alright, like the remake of Dawn of the Dead was. But they haven't got that charm of the 80s or 70s, you know? They're missing out, you know? They just haven't got that feeling. Which is sad. Then we've got Silent Hill. Which when I originally watched this, I thought it was one of the most boring pieces of crap I'd ever seen in my life. That's right. I thought it was dreadful. I really couldn't get through this movie. I watched it because it had Sean Bean in it, and there's some good bits in it, but the movie itself is nowhere like the films. Not the films, the games. It's nowhere like the games. The games are so much better and a lot more creepy. Then I got Silent Hill Revelation. I saw this for $5 and picked it up, but to be honest with you, I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping it's better. I'm hoping it's more fun. Who knows? We'll find out soon. So, I haven't seen that yet. Then to get through these, Paranormal Activity, Paranormal Activity 2, Paranormal Activity 3, Paranormal Activity, the Mark ones. I haven't seen any of these yet. I haven't watched them, but I own them. I'm waiting to get number 4 so I can have a movie marathon with all of them in. So yeah, there we go. We're getting some things I've seen now. Ooh, okay. We've got Maniac Cop with Bruce Campbell in it. That's right. Now, where are you? Where are you? Matt Cordell, that's it. So basically, Matt Cordell gets sent to prison for no good reason. They wanted to get him out of the way because he was a good cop. That's right. We don't need good cops on the beat, so we'll send them to prison where they can get raped and beaten and stabbed and die. Basically, that's what happens when Matt Cordell wants to get revenge as the zombie cop, basically. Bruce Campbell's a good cop who's on the verge of a mental breakdown thanks to basically what's happening. It's a great film. Maniac Cop's great. I really enjoy it. I prefer the Arrow release because it's got a lot better covers on it. But, you know, at the time I left, it benefited me more to sell it than to keep it. And I got this one from Synapse. And they've got some good bits on it. Robert Z'Dar is who plays Matt Cordell. It's alright. But this isn't the best Maniac Cop. This is a good one, but it's not the best. Then you've got Maniac Cop 2, where Matt Cordell is on the loose. And he teams up with this serial killer bloke. Right? This is funny, because he's a cop, right? He's getting rid of justice, killing criminals, getting rid of scum. And instead he handcuffs a woman to a steering wheel, and then lets the car go wrong. So she's going around the road trying to thingy. Great scene, right? And then he teams up with this serial killer who he witnesses, I think, killing somebody, or no, that's right, trying to kill somebody. And he teams up with him, and all this, and it's like what? And then he gets set on fire. This is great. I enjoy this film. I do like Maniac Cop. I am a big fan of the trilogy. And then we've got Maniac Cop 3, which is the best one, if you ask me, where he basically goes and he kidnaps her and he takes the girl because he wants to marry her and make her into another maniac cop like him. And it's got, what's his name in it? Robert Davi. Robert Davi kind of became the lead role in these. And I've got to admit, out of all, I do like this one out of the trilogy, which seems a bit weird. It's probably 3, 2, and then 1, because as much as one's number alright, I think the other 2 are better, but then that's just me, you know. Then we've got The Fly, the original one with Vincent Price. Now, I only bought this the other day, so I haven't watched it, but I've been wanting to see this classic movie for ages. so I'm really looking forward to it. I like the Jeff Goldblum movie, but I just can't watch it because it makes me cry too much. Plus it creeps me the hell out. Then we've got The Funhouse from Tobe Hooper. Now this film's a bit strange. At the beginning, her brother wears his costume, goes stab her, and he sees her big perky breasts in the shower. Now that's what you like about the 80s, when kids could look at your breasts in a scene. Can't do that now, because that would be classified as inappropriate behaviour. But in the 80s, it was fine. If I was alive in the 80s, in movies, best time to see women naked. Right? This is now again the original covers there. I've got to admit, I wasn't too keen on this movie. I watched it, and I watched the Arrow release. I'm going to watch this release eventually. And basically, the people get into the funhouse, and it's like this alien-looking thing with a clipped lip. I think it's a clipped lip. I think that's what it's called. And basically, you're just sitting there going, why is he killing them? Right? And all this stuff. I didn't like this movie that much. I enjoyed it to a degree, but I didn't like it that much. I'm going to watch it again and give it another go, because I always do, because I like to be fair. Then we've got They Live with Roddy Rowdy Piper in it. That's right, the Roddy one. I loved him back then and I love him now. He was a great actor, well, in bad movies, except for this. And he was a great wrestler. I can't do the show. But yeah, I haven't seen this yet, but it's awesome. Now we're getting to some what I've seen, so this is going to be good. Now we've got Terror Train from Shout Factory, which, to be honest, at first I thought, oh, this looks good. A killer going around wearing different costumes, killing people like in The Redeemer, and it's, you know, and I thought this is going to be great, right? Yeah. Obviously I hadn't seen The Redeemer then, but, you know, I'm saying that now, right? But no, right? The murders are terrible. The best thing about this is Jamie Lee Curtis. The killer's pathetic. There's a bit in it where she kisses him, and he remembers the incident with the dead body in the bed with him. He goes like, no, no, and he falls out the train. And you're like, worst ending ever. I hated the ending. Hated not seeing the kills, the bloody kills. But the best thing about the movie is Jamie Lee Curtis. But it was made in Canada, and it was a stinker. Other than that, it was fun to watch, but it was slow, and it was a little bit of a stinker, basically. Day of the Dead. The original Day of the Dead. Look at that cover. It's awesome. There's Bob. Let's do the Bob impersonation. Pines. The best bit is when that bloke gets his body ripped to bits and he goes, choke on it. I love that. I love the army commander in this. I love the whole army aspect in this whole movie. I think it's great. I love the whole movie. This is my favourite George A. Romero zombie movie. It has to be. I love this. I can watch this as much time as any. Dawn of the Dead I find a bit boring after a while. I know it's a classic, but this is the one for me. This is the one. Night of the Living Dead, I haven't seen that in years. I still need to pick it up on Blu-ray. Psycho 2. Now, the question is, he gets out of the mental asylum, and the woman sends her daughter there to kind of befriend him. And is he killing people? Is it somebody else? Is he killing people? Is it someone else? Is it the mother of the girl? Is it Norman? Is it the mother of the girl? Is it Norman? Now, the best part about this is you haven't got a clue until the end. Psycho 2 is excellent. I'll be honest with that. I like it. It's based on Alfred Hitchcock kind of script thing. But I will say this, to be fair. I think Anthony Perkins, considering this was 20 years later, he really kept the role well. What I mean by that is he really kept, you know, Norman Bates alive. You know, after 20 years you'd think, oh, the actor can't do it again. No, Anthony Perkins right back in the role like he was doing it again yesterday. Now, the best part is the ending with the mum, where she gets killed and she's hid in the coal and they don't find her. and I think they don't find her, and they say he's innocent and that. I think it's excellent. One of my favourite, what do you call it? One of my favourite Psychos. This Psycho 3, aka the Catholic nun. That's right. This Catholic nun decides to stay with him because she has dirty thoughts, I think. And Jeff Farley's in it as well as a faith. There's a real bastard. There's the cover, the same cover, and I really didn't like this one at all. You know, this movie's terrible. Roll on number 4. Number 4 is one of my favourites as well, where you see him as a kid. I think that's why I like Bates Motel so much, because I like the idea of seeing him as a kid, because Norman was abused. He was made to dress up like a girl and thrown in the cupboard, and it really messed him up. And I kind of like seeing that, because unlike Michael Myers, he's not invincible. You know, he's not meant to live on forever. And so I like seeing him as a kid. As in Michael Myers' Halloween, I didn't like seeing him as a kid because it was the whole mystery. The best bit, number 2, is when the woman comes over and she goes, "Norman, I'm your real mother. I'm your mother, and you know I missed you, Norman." And he hits her over the head with a spade, I think. No, I don't know, with a shovel, I think. And it's her head, and he goes, "Oh, Mum," and he lifts her up and takes her upstairs. Great, that was awesome. You know, because it shows it wasn't just because the other one was a white cow. It was because he's sick in the head, and I like that. It gets me wild. Then we've got The Burning. Yeah, that's right, another Shout Factory. Let's show the case. Now, I love this case. I think this covers a lot better than this. You know, this is the original poster, and this is awesome. Now, where it turns out he got burned at the beginning by a prank, I love the murders in it. He really goes wild and kills people. And I love that. And then when you see what he looks like now, oh, that poor man, no wonder he's killing people. You know, he can't help it. If I'd been scarred life like that, I think I'd want to go killing people. You know? So I felt a bit bad, and then you got that weirdo there who looks like he should be in a bloody lemon popsicle movie. But yeah, so it's a great one. To me, this is great. I love this movie. I think this movie's awesome. Then we've got From Beyond, starring Jeffrey Combs. Now, I watched Reanimator and this in the same day, and I have to be honest, I really like this. I like how this has got a lot of the same cast as the Reanimator. I like how they made this machine that kind of talks to the demonic world, and how it kind of takes them over and makes that girl kind of obsessed with it. And how Jeffrey Combs gets that big eye thing in his head, and all this. It's just so creepy. But this is what a horror movie is about. I like this. This is what a horror movie should be like, in this kind of sci-fi fantasy kind of way. I love this movie. Phantasm 2. Fell asleep when watching this. Number 1 to me is a classic, but I fell asleep watching Phantasm 2. I just couldn't get through it. I don't know why, but I couldn't stand it. Number 1 was fantastic, probably because they're going after them, and to me that was a bit boring, you know. So let's show the original cover. There you go, which is better. That was on the VHS release. But yeah, I didn't like Phantasm 2. Then we've got Body Bags, which, to be honest with you, it's an anthology film, and the first film is, let's have a look on there. As a woman working the late shift, basically, and this guy tries to kill her, and I can't remember. Can't stand for losing. I can't remember now what happens on that one, but he tries to kill her, and then you got then the next one is where a guy can't stand losing hair, so he goes to this transplant place and gets this long hair, and you're like, this looks a bit creepy. And they go on about how he looks like he did when he was younger, and his girlfriend sleeps with him. But then it turns out there's things living in his hair that get in his face and make his face all hairy and everything. And he goes back, and it turns out they're aliens or something. It was alright. And then the third one stars Matt Hamill, where basically he loses his eye and he gets an eye transplant, and then basically it's of a killer who killed his wife, and he gets all these right faults, and then he tries to kill his wife, and he stabs himself in the eye, and you know, overall it's pretty good. I did like it a lot, to be honest. I found this a real entertaining movie of three stories. John Carter was great in it, but I have to be honest with you, the audio quality was appalling on this. Shout out to do a terrible job on this, because as soon as I heard the sound, I went on the forums and found they had a bad audio mix. You're next. Now, I saw this advertised 2 years before it came out, and I was on a pill that was like, bring it out, I want it, I want this movie. Charlie Vincent, is it? Yeah, Charlie Vincent. I used to watch her in Home and Away, yeah, back in the day, where she got AIDS and she was dying. And then I watched her in Step Up 3. And, you know, I like her. I think she's great. And in this movie, she's a real kick-ass bitch. She kicks ass like anything. There's this big conspiracy, and basically the people start attacking them. It turns out people with AIDS in the home are the ones involved in it. And she's basically, the other bloke's gone for help, her boyfriend, and she goes around killing them all, basically, in really cool ways. And let me tell you something, never underestimate a woman, because they can always kick your ass. That's right. And the ending, the bit where she sticks the blender on the person's head and goes, blah, 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 and kills them, was fantastic. And the bit where she finds out who's responsible, and she just kills them, amazing. I loved it. Thought it was great. Felt bad for her at the end though, but great film. Highly recommend. The Purge. Now, I bought this when it first came out because I really wanted to see it. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that bad. I was surprised that Ethan Hawke got murdered in it. I thought he was going to be the saving grace. But it turns out that people go out for a purge once a year because it stops crime, and you can kill people, commit crimes, whatever you like, for like 9 hours, I think it is. Let's have a look. 12 hours. And basically, this black guy is running down the road. I think he's homeless. And he's running and he goes, oh no, and the boy sees him, so he lets him in. And the bloke's all right. It's not a bad guy, even though you question it. And basically these people were after him with masks on, and they want to kill the people involved, and they want to let him out, and they won't do it. So basically they get in the house, and they start attacking them, and all this stuff. And basically at the end, the black guy saves them, basically. And that's the end, basically. But I did like the kills. I did like the kind of creepiness of it. It's a lot like The Strangers and the creepiness, except The Strangers is a terrible film, and this does it better. Then we've got Night of the Comet. Yeah. I watched this movie and I was bored witless. There's one zombie and then there's two in a dream. Other than that, the pills start turning at the end of the movie, and you just sit there going, what is this about? It's about last pill being on Earth or in the area, and these people who are geniuses who basically don't realise, and they start changing, and I didn't like it. I didn't like this film. A lot of people probably do, but I didn't. Don't hate me for it. Then we've got The Hills Have Eyes, double pack. So we've got The Hills Have Eyes, the first remake. And I have to admit, I really like this. I like it when he goes into the town area and he sees the one in the chair, sees the one with the head brace crawling along, pointing something along. Gets in the home. There's that one with the big long head who the dog ends up getting, which is fantastic because he's really sick. And he has a fight with one of them. It's just crazy. This movie symbolises greatness. Once it gets past the boring bits at the beginning, it's awesome. I love it. Number 2. And it's like army commandos going on a training mission. Basically, one by one they get picked off. One gets raped or something. And it's just dreadful. I'd never buy this film. Always get this one and avoid this one. Seriously. I only had them both because I bought me a double pack for $10. Okay. Okay, now we've got the Puppet Master trilogy on Blu-ray, 1 to 3. Now number 1 is great. He comes back and he's dancing around and he's like this. Oh, my lady, come with me. You're wonderful. I love you. And he gets a bit creepy dancing with this woman and all sorts and pretending she's his past girlfriend and all this other stuff. And you're just like, what the hell is going on in this movie? But it's great. I enjoy it. My favourite puppets have always been Jester, Pinhead, and Blade. So number 1's alright. Number 2, just let me read the back of it quickly. Bears the time of the little devils on special forever keep them alive. Suddenly found in, you guessed it, human brains left for the puppets, a new team. But I just came to the hotel. I can't remember number 2 that well, but I remember enjoying it. You know, I remember enjoying it very well. Number 3, on the other hand, is set in the 1940s, and there's Six Shooter, which is another puppet, a new puppet. And Six Shooter's awesome. Now, the thing is with Puppet Master movies, is these early movies were great the way they did it. In the newer movies, they're dreadful. They're horrible, you know. I really like the whole German aspect. I like it. The first Puppet Master films are really good. I really like them. There's one I'm missing on Blu-ray, and then there's this one, Puppet Master 10. What's it called? Puppet Master Access Rising, which is number 10. And there's a kamikaze puppet, there's a wolf puppet, a tank puppet, and there's a female puppet who basically gets killed and the guy who fancies her puts her in the puppet form and she shoots bullets from her breast, basically. And it's not a good film. Again, it's set back in the 40s. And it's not a good film at all. Is it fun for people like Puppet Master? Yes. Is it a terrible film? Yes. The original Puppet Master trilogy is the best. After that, they get really weird, like The Curse of Puppet Master, Retro Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys, Puppet Master versus Aliens. You're just like, oh no. Then we've got Mama, which I've never seen, but I bought this after watching Scary Movie 5 and laughing at the Mama bit. The Mummy. Now I've got all 3 Mummy films, but for some reason I can't find the other 2. This, to be honest with you, this isn't an alright horror movie. I don't really call it a horror movie because it doesn't horrify me, but technically it is. He comes back from the dead. He wants to bring his girlfriend back to the dead. He kills people to get their skin, basically. He gets help from his friend Benny, who basically talks the right language to him, who gets his comeuppance at the end. And Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are awesome with John Hannah. They're great. Number 1 and 2 are awesome. Number 3, I've never seen. So I've got it, but I haven't seen it yet. Then we've got Back in the Woods, A Night in the Woods. Haven't seen it, just got it yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. So I'm looking forward to watching that eventually. Rosewood Lane, which is another horror movie, which I haven't seen. But I'm looking forward to watching it when I get to the time, and we'll see what happens. Oh, there we go. Get these down. Witchbolt, again, another film I haven't watched yet, but it's a great. I've heard it's a really good horror movie, so I'm looking forward to watching that when I get the time. The Devil Inside, which is a film I watched in England and we bought over here, and to be honest with you, it's not that good, you know. Basically, in 1989, emergency responders received a 911 call from Mary Rosie. It was 3 brutal murders. The courts found her insane, but something else found her first. Basically, the mum's possessed, basically, and it's just dreadful. Don't buy this unless you're a horror fanatic like me. And even then, I don't talk about horror that much. But, yeah, it's not a good movie. The Stepfather, the remake with Dylan Walsh. I've never seen it, but Dylan Walsh looks like he could pull off the evil stepfather movie thing. You know, I want to get the first one and watch that first, because I don't like watching the remake than watching the first one, because you've got nothing to judge it to. And there might be things in the new one which are better. You know, you never know. And so I'd rather watch the first one first, so I don't have any, you know. Let's have a bit of my drink first. Hope you're enjoying this so far. Okay. The ABCs of Death, which is another horror film. It's got 26 stories, individual chapters. So I'm guessing they're all short. Never seen it. I've got to get round to it. And there's number 2 coming out, I think, or is it already out? Then we've got Blade, which I haven't watched in ages, but thanks to James Johnson, my main homie, that's right, my homie, I basically bought them. And again, and the best bit about this movie is the vampires putting sunscreen on and going, "We can go outside. You may be the day walker, Blade, but we can just put on suntan lotion and other people will die, but we won't." You know, and then they've got the Irishman whose arm keeps getting chopped off, and basically then he gets killed easily, and you're like, oh, this is bull. Because you're like, his main henchman gets his arm cut off and everything, gets burnt, and you're like, there's going to be a great fight. There's going to be a great fight, and it just gets killed really quickly at the end. You're just like, ugh. Blade 2, where you've got the, what they call, basically, basically, I was trying to think of the perfect word, but they're super vampires, basically, but Blade and the Blood Pack are going after. And Luke Goss is basically the main one. And basically, they kill them all, basically. They kill the Blood Pack, and, you know, Blade falls in love. I keep calling him Snape, or Snake. But Blade falls in love with the girl, with the main vampire. Turns out that it's her brother they're trying to kill. He gets in the place. She lets him kill it, the dad, and then she lets him kill her. And, you know, you're just like, oh, you know. Not the best movie. Donnie Yen's in this. A great, great Asian actor. But he doesn't do anything. Just like in Highlander the Endgame. He doesn't do anything. He just gets killed. Sadly. But I enjoy this movie. I prefer number 1 and 3, but I enjoy it. Blade Trinity. Now, I really like this movie. I like Ryan Reynolds in it as, what's his name? Let's have a look. Hannibal. I like the story about the main female vampire. Her fangs are on her pussy. I love that. That made me want to buy the movie again and again and again. I would, you know, the fact that he says that is to highlight the whole movie. And then you've got Drac, aka Dracula, but being brought back, he's been called Drac, and he can walk in daylight, which amazed me. He walks around in daylight, and he's got a big build, and he just looks like Dominic Purcell. I don't know why, but maybe he is Dracula. No, but seriously, it's an alright film. I like the bit. I like that he kills the daughter. No, what's it that kills the daughter? I like that he kills everybody. You know, it's awesome. But you know, poor Blade. You know, it's kind of upsetting because they were going to make a 4th one, but Wesley Snipes basically fucked that all up by tax evasion. Then we've got a Nick Box film, an independent director who does films. Now, some of them are not good, some of them are great, but they're very low budget, so most people will sniff their nose up them because they won't like them. And to be honest with you, I don't mind them. They're a bit weird, but I don't mind them. And the first one I've got here is Mr. Rape's First Date. Now, this is 28 of 50 of a first edition, limited edition. Right? Now, I told Donna this, she wasn't too impressed. But basically, the bloke watches TV and they're in this weird world, and he goes a bit crazy and he starts following this woman. He ends up getting her home, watches her in the shower, basically rapes her, ties her up and stuff, and does weird kinky shit to her basically. And then she finally gets her revenge and she cuts his penis off. And at the end, there's something about how it's not TV that messes you up, it's the Bible. In Nick Bosley's films, he's got a real obsession with the Bible being evil or something. It amazes me, you know. But it's an alright film. I rated it a lot higher than I thought I would. It's pretty good. It's probably his best actual art yet, you know, in filmmaking, in my view. And we've got another Nick Box film called She's Dead. And basically, the bloke has sex with a woman, a one-night stand, and he wakes up next to her and she's laying on the floor dead, basically. And the guy doesn't know what to do with her, so he calls his mate over, who sticks a chocolate bar up her vagina, basically, and does really creepy shit to her. And you just sit there thinking, what the hell's going on? And then it turns out she's not actually dead, but she's a vampire. You know, which is a bit strange, but the movie cost, I think, about 40 quid to make, so that's about $80. But it's alright, but for 90 odd minutes, for 70 minutes, it's very, it takes a while to get going, and it's very slow, obviously, because they're stuck in one room. Then we've got Hansel and Gretel. Yes, to be honest with you, I really didn't mind the film. I thought the film was alright. I like Jeremy Renner, and I like Gemma Arterton, and I like Famke Jesson as the main female witch, vampire witch. And you know, it was interesting. I didn't like the take on it, but it went really well. The witches all looked really ugly. Famke Jesson is still very beautiful. I had a big thing for her back in the 90s when she was in GoldenEye. I remember I was, what, 7? And I was like, oh, Famke Jesson. Oh, yeah, wax it, baby. Especially that scene where she gets on top of him in the sauna area of the pool bit. Oh, yeah. But anyway, not a bad movie. Not the best, but it's alright. Chronicle, which is a fan footage movie about 3 friends basically who find this little, I don't know, let's have a look. When 3 of their high school friends make an extraordinary discovery, they acquire amazing abilities. They make a discovery, they get these abilities, and basically 2 of them are really good, and 1 of them turns evil, really evil, and it's pretty good. I like Chronicle. I think it's probably one of my favourite fan footage movies. Because a lot of them are dreadful. A lot of fan footage movies are just crap. But this is pretty good. I like it. Crawl Space, which is about a landlord, Klaus Kinski, who basically goes around the vents, the air ducts, basically watching women getting undressed, sticking rats through their grayling bits, which is a bit weird, and putting on makeup, and dressing up like he's one of Hitler's henchmen and basically trying to kill people. You know, it's a bit silly. It's not the best movie. I wasn't very keen on it personally. It's got someone stuck in a cage who he keeps feeding and acts like he's his best friend. Well, let him out then, you know. And it's just creepy. It's creepy, but not in a good way. Like, there's a bit where a bloke comes to see him and he sits down and he presses a button and this thing goes right up into his bum and kills him, you know? It's alright, but it's not good. Hostel 1 and Hostel 2. Back when these first came out, I watched them, and to be honest with you, I thought they were very shocking. Hostel 1, where he cuts the Japanese girl's eyeball off, and she starts screaming, and they catch her, creepy, you know? And the fact that people would pay to torture people, you know, it actually does happen. That's why we shouldn't go abroad. This is why we shouldn't go to foreign countries like Bosnia, because we don't talk their language, you know. But the best one is number 2, where the bloke from Rex, I think it's not even Rex, is it? Anyway, the bloke from both men from Desperate Housewives they decide they want to kill women, basically, and want to torture them. And basically, the first one, hey, hold on. He basically can't do it, and he gets him right in the head, and he screams, and he ends up getting killed by dogs. Second one, the smaller one, obviously, turns into a real evil psychopath, and she gets her revenge by cutting off his dick and giving it to the dogs to eat, and she becomes a member, which seems a bit weird, because how would they let you become a member? I know she's rich and everything, but how would they let her become a member after she knows about it? You know, she could end them, basically. But the good thing is the kids who are evil in the country get the woman who basically set them up, so I'm happy about that. Good movie. Hostel 3, which I watched, was a bit weird. It's basically they go on this hen night, not hen night, what's it called? Stag night. I'm really brain dead at this time of the night. They go on a stag night, basically they go to Las Vegas. And basically it turns out his best friend set him up, basically, and wanted to do it himself. And the guy gets away, and he thinks he's killed him, and the woman who the bloke was with, basically, he holds him down, and basically they get him, and it's like, oh. And the bad CGI, and, you know, not a bad movie, though. I would buy it again. Then we've got Hollow Man 1 and 2. Hollow Man 2, don't bother with. Hollow Man 1, classic. I love it. A new invention of the Invisible Man. Again, this has got Ron Dimitri in it, topless. Ooh. But yeah, you know, Elizabeth Shue has lost her looks. Back in the 80s, I'd have given it to her all night long. You know, Elizabeth Shue, you know. But anyway, Hello Man is probably one of the best films I've ever seen. I like the passion. Kevin Bacon really brings Dr. Sebastian Kane to life. I mean, the fact that he's so passionate about the job and that he lets them do it on him is amazing. And then he completely turns invisible and he starts getting psychotic. I'm guessing from the serum. And basically goes out and starts killing people and doing things. So basically kills everybody in the place, basically. Thinks he's a smart aleck. Josh Brolin and Elizabeth Shue stop him, basically. And it's a great movie. I like it. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Voices from Beyond, Lucio Fulci movie. I haven't seen this movie yet, so I can't say much about it, but it's from Code Red. It's the last one of theirs I've got to watch on Blu-ray. I'm not going to buy any of their DVDs because, you know, they're starting to release Blu-ray, so I don't want to buy a DVD and then it be coming out on Blu-ray. So I'm just going to wait and get each one of them on Blu-ray when they come out. Premonition. I've never seen Premonition. With Sandra Bullock and what's his name? Julian McMahon. I've never seen this, but I've seen the Asian version, and the Asian version was awesome. So I'm hoping this one's pretty good, and obviously I'll do a review once I watch it and say my faults. Blood and Chocolate with Hugh Darcy in, and Oliver Martinez and Katja Von Gardner. Again, another film I haven't watched. This is a vampire movie. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm planning to eventually. The Winged Serpent, which I put on for 20 minutes, and I just thought this was a terrible movie. But I'm going to rewatch it again properly, because sometimes I have to be in the mood for it, you know, and I wasn't in the mood for this. Zombieland, which, to be honest with you, Zombieland is probably one of my favourite comedies. This has a great mix of comedy, horror. It's just great. Emma Stone and Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. But the best in this whole movie is when Bill Murray shocks Jesse Eisenberg and he shoots him in the chest. That is just great. I love that. I was laughing for hours. Because it's like, oh no, I'm going to die. It was just great, you know, after doing the whole Ghostbusters stuff and everything. It was great. And you got a little Abigail Breslin in this too. What a woman she's become now. She should be proud of herself. Yeah, basically it's Superbad meets Shaun of the Dead. So I recommend this film if you haven't seen it, but everybody's seen it now. Stir of Echoes, another Kevin Bacon film, which is a real psychological, chilling horror movie. I remember watching this years ago, because it has been years and years since I watched it, and it was awesome. I can't remember anything about it. Oh, bless me. And so I can't say much about it, but I remember it being really good. Doom, based on the video game. Now, to be honest with you, this movie was terrible. It wasn't that great, but it's got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Carl Urban in it, so I bought it for $2 because I thought I might as well add it to a collection. You know, it's okay, but it's nowhere as good, and it doesn't really match the games at all. Then we've got a Japanese import, and that is of, what's it called? Flower and Snake. I've not watched it, but I've heard it's a bit of horror and a bit of kinkiness, to be honest. So I'm looking forward to watching that eventually, but I haven't watched it yet. Then we've got Four Flies on Grey Velvet, which is a Dario Argento Giallo horror movie. And to be honest with you, this movie is a bit strange because the killer wears this mask and takes pictures. And you sit there and you're like, okay. And he has this affair. The boyfriend has an affair with this woman with black hair. I can't remember her name. While he's dating this woman with blonde hair. And you're like, what's he doing that for? Cheeky man. And basically she kills people, takes pictures of it, while he's watching. And he's not watching on purpose. It's kind of like in your face, watch me as I kill someone. This isn't his best film. This isn't Dario Argento's best film. It's not a bad film, but it's not great. It's not the best at all. It's got two covers. Basically, it's got that one, and it's got that one, which is better really, but I like the eye. So it's not the best film, but it's all right. Then we've got Mario Brothers Black Sunday. I haven't watched anything other than the first 4 minutes. Not because I didn't want to watch it, but because I had a phone call. So I'm hoping to watch that again sometime soon. A bit creepy. Okay, next. Oh. What's this? Oh. Get them out. Then we've got a Hatchet for the Honeymoon. Which basically has the bloke, he runs this company and he's rich, and he invites these women who are getting married, basically. He asks these women to marry him. I think it says that. And he ever gets to marry or they're getting married. And he kills them in wedding gowns. You know, when they get in their bridal gift. And each time he kills somebody, he remembers more and more of his past. Well, he kills his wife, and basically she stalks him the whole time, and he hears her voice and everything. And it's very, very creepy, but it's a great Mario Bava movie. I really like it. It's one of my favourites. I like the bloke. He's so disturbed and so scared and so horrified at what he's doing, but at the same time, he loves it. It's really weird, but it's good, you know? It's a good movie. I highly recommend it. Then we got The Whip and the Body, starring Christopher Lee and Delia Lavey. Now, I've never seen this film. Again, I can't say much about it, but I'm looking forward to it. Lisa and the Devil, The House of Exorcism, Tony Schiavone's. Again, another Mario Bava, but I haven't seen this either, so I can't say much about that. Baron Blood, haven't seen that either, but I'm looking forward to it. Another Mario Bava film. Zombie Lake, which I've heard is so good, so it's not so good, so bad, but it's good. It's a French film. It's got dubbing, so that's always good if you don't like things like that. So I'm looking forward to watching this because I haven't seen it before, and let's hope it's good. Now we come to a film I really like, and that's Truth or Dare. Basically, the people that get called, they come to this reunion thing, and basically I think his name's Felix. I'll read it to you. A group of college friends celebrate the end of term with party to end all parties, drink, drugs and sex, for unequal measures. Everyone lets loose. As the focus shifts to playing a seemingly harmless game of truth or dare, it leads to humiliation and pain for one lonely geek. Yeah, his name's Felix. And basically, they turn up, and his brother turns up and says he committed suicide. And basically, he talks to them, and then he starts tying them up and stuff, and doing these things to them to find out who was the one who did these things to him. And it's really creepy. And then one of them gets away, and she finds Felix watching on a live feed. It's a really good movie. It's one of those movies from England which you wouldn't expect to be any good, but is, you know. I'm a big fan of British, aka English, horror. It's a good movie. I highly recommend watching this. It's only like £2 in CEX on Blu-ray. So go and buy it right now. Dead Awake, which is a film I haven't seen again, but I picked it up for $3, so you know, might not be good, but it seems to have a good cast. Blood the Last Vampire, which is based on an anime, but it's still a horror film because it's about vampires. I've seen the anime version, which was alright, but I haven't seen this version. So, you know. Strangers on a Train, which explains itself, basically. It's another Alfred Hitchcock movie, which I haven't seen, but my mother has, and I've seen clips of it. And I really wanted to watch it, so I picked it up. Then we've got the classic Monsters collection. Dracula is a classic. They're all classics, really. The only one I didn't really like was the Phantom of the Opera, because it was in colour. I felt like the Lon Chaney one would have been better to have in there. But I think it's got different rights from different people. The Bride of Frankenstein's awesome. Wolfman's not bad. Creature of Black Lagoon, most people remember that film. The Invisible Man. The Mummy, terrifying, cool. Frankenstein, Dracula. Dracula, the original Dracula. Awesome. Bela Lugosi. The best bit is when he goes like this. And the women, his women, they just float backwards. Awesome scene. For a scene recorded, what, in the 30s? Awesome. Let's have a look quickly. I want to see if it was, I want to see what the actual date is. Hold on. It was 1931. So it was made in 1930 because it was released in 1931. So that was awesome for that time, you know. It was just so beautiful. Van Helsing was a bit strange, but when is he never not strange? So, you know, great collection now. I highly recommend people buy that. You can buy that in England in a coffin box set, which is limited, but it's only in the coffin. It's not like it's anything else. The one downside of the American version, it doesn't have the art cards in it, like the postcards. The English version does. So definitely buy the English version, you get nice postcards, and you get the booklet. Okay, now we've got Trauma, which is another Dario Argento movie, and this movie is awful. I watched this movie, hated it. It's one of the worst things ever. The killer puts this thing around there, and it cuts him off, and the head's talk. So no, don't get it. Awful. A cult classic by any word of the mean, and that is The Exorcist. Now, I watched this as a kid. My mum bought me the VHS of it years ago. And little Linda Blair, beautiful. She's better looking as the Exorcist, possessed with a green face. I love the way her head turns around and she says things like, fuck me, and all that. I love that. It gets me so happy. Because it's so scary. It's like, yes. You know, obviously it's not scary now, but the bit where he goes out the window, it's awesome. But yeah, you really feel sorry for the little girl in this, Linda Blair, and it's great. And this version's got a part of a book in there, which is a bit annoying because it should have been the whole book, but then it would have cost more. So then we've got Battle Los Angeles, which is basically when aliens come to Earth and they have to fight them. Haven't seen it, bought it for a few dollars, so can't say anything about it, but it should be pretty good. Van Helsing, which again I've seen before. I didn't really like it that much, but I haven't seen it in ages, so I can't really say anything about it again. Well, it's got Kate Beckinsale in it, and it's got Hugh Jackman being Van Helsing, which I think was a bad choice. Pitch Black, which is, which is a really good movie. It's kind of sci-fi horror in my view. It's alright. I think Vin Diesel plays the role back really good. It's not good in a lot of roles, but he's good in this role. Really good. Upstairs I've got Riddick. I don't think I brought that down. Yeah, I did bring it down, so I'll mention that in a minute. Okay, then we've got my Arrow releases. So I'm gonna go through them. And then we've got 4 more stacks to go through. And then we're done. So then we've got Tenebrae, Dario Argento's Tenebrae. I love this because it's about a novelist, a writer who writes books and he's getting death calls and threats. And John Saxon's in it and people get killed. It's your typical Galileo, basically, Dario Argento Galileo, where people get killed and basically someone's on the track and they're trying to find out who it is, and then there's a big reveal at the end of a shocking death. That's basically it. Awesome film. I recommend Tenebrae. Awesome. Then we've got The Beyond, which is a Lucio Fulci movie, and I've got to admit, I really like this movie. This is a great zombie movie. I highly recommend it. Most of Lucio Fulci's hot zombie movies are really, really good, so I highly recommend them. Yeah, I mean, this one and House by the Cemetery, they're both really good movies. The best part about House by the Cemetery is the little boy getting stabbed to death in his mouth. The dagger goes through his mouth. Awesome. Love it. Look at that cover. How can you not want to see it with that cover? I mean, awesome, Lucio Fulci movies are fantastic. Then we've got Phenomena, which is a bit weird because it's got Donald Pleasance in it with his best friend who's a monkey. And it's got Jennifer Connelly in it who can kind of communicate with bugs. And basically, this music controls her at night, and she goes wanderers, and then she ends up being kidnapped. And there's this pig-looking thing that's trying to kill her, and it chases her, and then all these bugs kill it. It's really weird. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's creepy. Then we've got Inferno, which is part of the Three Mothers trilogy of Dario Argento's. Inferno is the best one, I think. It's got beautiful colours, it's got beautiful score, and the actors and actresses are fantastic in it. This version's got art cards with it, which is lovely. This was when Arrow actually could afford to give you stuff. Now they can't be bothered, sadly. They can't give you slipcases anymore. Or windows, as they say. City of the Living Dead, which is another Lucio Fulci movie, and probably one of the best zombie movies out there. It's got, what's his name in it? Christopher George in it. And I really like Christopher George. He was in Enter the Ninja, which is one of my favourite movies. So like James with the X-Files and all that, I love this because it's got someone from Enter the Ninja in it. Yeah, that's right. No, I love this film so much. I think this film's great. I haven't seen it in ages and I'm going to rewatch it again. But I recommend this film totally. A lot of people say this film is the film that made slashers and horror slasher films, and that's A Bay of Blood. Basically, people get killed one by one. You don't know who done it, and basically it's like Michael Myers and all that, except you just don't see it. It's through like the second Friday the 13th, it's through the eyes of the killer. It's all right. It's not the best, but it's all right. Deep Red, which is it's probably my favourite Argento film of all time. It's got such a great score. It's got great characters, great murders in it. I mean, some of the murders are great, and the music score is just incredible. I used to listen to it when I was going places on my phone. I used to put it on there, I used to listen to it, I'd be like, ooh, yeah, da da da, Da da da. It was great, you know. It was awesome. Really enjoyed it. I recommend this film totally. I recommend every Argento film except for the last 5, 10 years. Basically, 60s, 70s, and 80s. I recommend. Cat O' Nine Tails, which is another Argento classic, which basically goes by the same storyline, except a blind man and another bloke, I think it is. They're both looking for the killer, and basically, JoJo's films are very similar, except the murders are different and the main characters are different. Like, instead of being a detective, it's a blind guy. Instead of being a blind guy, it'd be a newspaper reporter, you know, stuff like that. And it ends up being the same kind of story, kind of thing, you know, with the kills, but the kills are always different and better. You know, it's like watching Murder, She Wrote, but completely different, you know, more violent. So, yeah, Cat o' Nine Tails. Then we've got The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which is probably my second favourite. And basically, when Sam, an American writer in Rome, witnesses an attempted slaying in an art gallery, he unwittingly sets the killer's sights on himself and his beautiful model girlfriend. But soon things start to unravel as it becomes clear that the identity of the unknown slayer is very much open to question. Somebody's killing everyone. Who is the evil fiend? Could it be Sam himself? Now, the first 20 minutes tells you who the killer is if you look carefully, but you won't realise it if you've never heard of the film or ever seen a Dario Argento film before. You won't have a clue. I remember watching this for the first time and not even seeing where it was, not even seeing who the killer was, you know, at the beginning kind of thing. But it's right there. When you look back, you see it. So, you know, it's in the first 20 minutes. So, I recommend this movie. Okay, now let's get this stack. Oh, dear. We've got the Omen collection, which has the first, second, third, and the remake, 666, in it. Now, I haven't seen these in years, but I remember them being very creepy and very horrible. But I haven't seen them, so I can't say anything really about them because I haven't seen them in ages. Last time I think I saw one on TV, I was 5. Then we've got Twilight. That's right, Twilight, because it's a vampire movie. And then we've got, get these out of the way, Twilight New Moon, Twilight Eclipse, and Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. I haven't seen any of them yet. And to be honest with you, I didn't really like putting them in the horror section, but they had to be there because technically they are, even though they're kids kind of, you know. Then we got Super Hybrid, which is basically a film like Christine, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'm hoping to, so. The Silence of the Lambs, which is a great movie, you know. I think Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster were great in this movie. This movie was awesome. Anthony Hopkins really brings Hannibal to life, and it kind of really upset me in the Hannibal series. But the guy, Mads Mikkelsen, he's a great actor, he's one of the best. But the Hannibal character doesn't suit him, I don't think. Especially, you don't get that darkness there, it's just politeness. And this has a great end where he calls her up and goes, I'm having an old friend round for dinner. And you're like, yes, mark out time, yes. Go Hannibal, Mr. Lecter, it's your birthday, eat him, eat him, eat him now, let's see it. The only problem is you don't see him kill him. Then we've got Hannibal, which is 1,000 times better. Why? Because there's a really disfigured man who gets killed. He says to the bloke, hey, no one's going to know, they're going to think I did it, just push him in. And he does it. The bloke pushes him in, you know? And it's just really creepy. It's horrible seeing the way the bloke is, all disfigured and all messed up. I think Anthony Hopkins says something like, don't worry, they'll just blame me. And they do. And it's kind of creepy, you know? And then the bit at the end where he's eating Ray Liotta's brain, he's cutting it out and he's cooking it in front of Julianne Moore, because Jodie Foster, I'm guessing, didn't want to do the role anymore. Shame, because she was great in the role. Interview with a Vampire, which is probably one of the best vampire movies of all time, based on the book. Tom Cruise and Antonio Banderas, Brad Pitt, uh, Christian Slater, what's her name? Kirsten Dunst. They were great in it. The bit where she dies, oh, it's horrendous. The whole film is just incredible. You know, I think by now everybody's seen this film, and if they haven't, they need to see it because this is one of the greatest vampire movies of all time, if you ask me. Warm Bodies, which is a horror love story, which is dreadful. I hated this movie. This movie was terrible. A zombie feels and he helps her and then he becomes alive again. I hate it. Hate this movie. I wish I hadn't bought it. I wish I didn't own it, but I do, and I will not sell it. So that's Warm Bodies, aka crap. Oh, here we go. Rob Zombie again. The Devil's Rejects, which is another dreadful movie. The best bit about it is Captain Spaulding. The rest of it is them just going around killing people and all that. I hated this movie. Again, I had this movie on DVD and I watched it back then and I thought it was dreadful. And I watched it again recently and I was like, oh no, not again. Rob Zombie uses the same people. He uses the same crappy actors. The only good one in it is William Forsythe. He's the only good one in it. He keeps using his bloody wife who can't act. Then we've got The Deadly Spawn, which is another film I couldn't get through. I put this on and after half an hour I just couldn't watch it anymore. So I turned it off. It just looked like a pile of crap to me. Anyone who likes this, I'm happy for you. But I just hated it. You know, one of the best of his kind, possessing all of a passion, not unlike what is seen in the Echo War and Savage the Evil Dead. Nothing like it. Hate this movie. Hate it. Then we got Poseidon, which is another film I haven't seen, so I can't say anything about it. This is the first one, I'm guessing, because it stars Kurt Russell. Yeah, it stars Kurt Russell. I haven't seen it. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, the first film isn't too bad. They run a guy over, they throw him in a river, they make a pact. One by one they get killed, you know, and they get away in the end. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt. In this one, they win tickets to go to this private island place. And basically, Jack Black's there. Yeah. Now, let me share something about Jack Black. In this movie, Jack Black plays the character he should have played. An idiotic pothead who should get killed very, very badly. He should be in those roles, not in roles like King Kong. That was worse. Terrible. But anyway, so they get tickets to go, and they decide to take Brandy, and they decide to take Mecca Pfeiffer, them two there with them. And, well, Jennifer Love Hewitt goes with a friend who's a boy, and he wants her, and she's a bit like, oh, you want me, do you? I can't tell him, you know. And basically, the guy with the hook comes, starts killing people. And at the end, it turns out it's his son who was with him. And basically he accidentally kills his son and he goes crazy. You're just like this, you're just like, oh no. You know, this film's alright, but it's not fantastic. You know, there's some good scenes in it and that. It's better than crap. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer is about a zombie. And the only way to kill that zombie is by sticking the ice pick in. And you're just like, oh no. So avoid the third one, just get the first two. The third one's got nothing to do with the series. Then you got the Last House on the Left, which is the original one from Wes Craven. Remember, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. Keep saying to yourself, it's only a movie. It's only a movie. You know, basically they kill the daughter and the guy wears her necklace and basically they turn up at the father and mother's home and you know, the guy get like normal. The wife takes the bloke out, gives him a bit of blowy, and bites his penis off. And you know, just a normal day. And the husband gets changed to that and slices the bloke to death. I said, just a normal day after you find out that someone's killed your daughter. How did he find out? Because the bloke's been sick down the toilet with a little chain on. It's awful, scary, horrendous. Buy this movie. Now, I've got to be honest with you, the Blu-ray quality is not that great. I wasn't too keen on the remake. I liked it, but I wasn't keen on it. Insidious 2, I've never seen, so I'm not going to say anything about it, but number 1 was just dreadful from what I remember. American Psycho, which is a classic horror film. It's great. The way he is, I love the narcissistic thing where he goes like this when he's having sex. Oh, yeah, you know, I do that now. After watching that, I do it in the mirror. I say, yeah, you go there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, ooh, you know, in the mirror. And I'm like, keep your head down, yeah. You know? Because this film made me want to do that. Because he's so cool in this role. Christian Bale makes this character in his own. And the best bit is where he kills the woman under the cover and the other woman runs out and he drops the chainsaw and it hits her right at the bottom of the stairs. I love that. And the best bit about the movie is the ending. The ending is amazing. I just love it. Is it real? Is it in his head? Who knows? Find out by reading the book, I'm guessing, you know? But awesome. I love this movie. It's one of my top 10. Final Exam. Like I said before, it's a bit slow going, but then you realise that you're getting to know the characters. And supposed to be kind of build a relationship with them, and you feel sorry for them when they die. The bloke himself, I wasn't very keen on him. I thought he was a bit silly, but you know, it was good. It was good. I really like this film. The ending starts off like a horror film should. So yeah, I recommend Final Exam. Just came out on Blu-ray in America. Then we've got Creepshow 1, which doesn't really get good until the second half. Before the second half, it's a bit terrible. I say basically when it gets to Leslie Nielsen and Ted Dancy, that's when it gets really good. I did reviews of these on my channel already. Well, kind of a review. Very short thoughts on them basically. So you can find out there. But yeah, Creepshow 1 and 2. Then we've got Black Sabbath. And I've seen this movie, and this is another horror anthology. And let's see, one of the blah 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 blah. In Terrifying, the woman is haunted by menacing phone calls from a former lover. Basically, what happens in that one is she's getting menacing phone calls. It turns out to be the woman she had a lesbian affair with, right? And she goes a bit crazy. And then the husband or boyfriend turns up. The former lover turns up and kills her anyway. So you know, quite a good story. The Word Delac stars Boris Karloff as a vampire hunter. Well, basically, he comes back, but he's already turned, basically. And it's a really good movie. I recommend The Word Delac in this. And then there's another one where a job of all involves a nurse who steals the ring from a corpse, whereas the curse is carried with it. So basically, she steals the woman's ring, and basically she ends up dead, just like her, basically. And it's not bad. This isn't a bad horror anthology. For its time, it was great. And on some releases, Boris Karloff is actually talking at the beginning. So I recommend getting this because Boris Karloff's a legend, if you know what I mean. He's a proper legend. Then we've got Hotel Transylvania. This film's the most horrible of all. All that violence and all that blood and gore. Yeah, this movie's sick. Yeah. Then we've got Prometheus, which Donna watched recently, but I haven't. But I'm going to get watching it. And then we've got the Alien movies over here. There they are, the Alien movies, the whole quadrilogy of them. I watched them years ago. I can't really remember them. But, you know, I've got the Aliens and I've got Prometheus. So, that'll do for now. And then we've got Invitation Only, which is a Korean release. Which is funny enough, is in English. Basically, these people go to this thing, and basically these people in white masks chase them and want to kill them. I originally bought it because it was a sex scene with Maria Ozawa, and she gets killed off pretty quickly. She's a Japanese porn star. she got killed off pretty quickly, and I was quite devastated by it. It's another film I'm going to watch again because I can't remember much about it, but it's a good film overall. Confessions, which I've got twice on English Blu-ray and and Korean. The reason I got the Korean one is because it's region A and the English one isn't. But yeah, basically this is about a woman, I'll read it to you. Psychological horror of a grieving mother turned cold-blooded avenger with a twisting master plan to pay back those who were responsible for her daughter's death. Never seen it, but I really want to, so I'm going to watch it soon. Splice, which is another film I've never seen, but Donna says it's very horrific and scary. Constantine, which is a film that I remember being as dreadful, but I picked it up for $4.99 anyway because I thought I can watch it again and see if I like it now. Because one of the problems is when you're younger, you watch stuff and you don't know if you're really gonna like it when you get older. Because there's films I hated as a kid that I love now. Like, I hated eating eggs, and now I love eating eggs. I hated watching widescreen. Now I love watching widescreen. I hated reading subtitles. Now I love reading subtitles. You know what I'm saying? So, I have to give things a go again. House at the End of the Street, another film I haven't watched yet, but I'm planning to soon. So, I got that in a double pack with, can't remember now, but I got it in a double pack with something. Case 39, another one I haven't watched yet, but I'm planning to. And I just realised it's got Bradley Cooper in it. And Ian McShane. But yeah, I've never seen it, but I'm planning to. The Craft, which is an excellent witch movie. I love how the really evil one turns the other two evil, and she has to fight back. I love that. And as she beats them all by their own problems, like one losing their hair and all this. It's just great. The Craft is an awesome movie. I highly recommend it to everybody involved. Everyone who watches horror. Buy The Craft. Buy it now. You know? With American Psycho and Zombieland. Then we've got Sinister, which is another film I haven't watched yet with Ethan Hawke, but I plan to soon. Resident Evil. When this first came out, she wakes up and he wakes up and they go through this thing, and I guess it was supposed to be like the game, and you're just like, what's going on? The action's good, don't get me wrong, but I still prefer the original games. The original, I think 3 games are the best. I'm a big fan of number 4, wasn't keen on number 5, haven't played number 6, so can't say much, but yeah, I did like it though. I like this film. I like Apocalypse when the Nemesis starts shooting. I love the Nemesis. He was my favourite character in the 3rd game, the Nemesis. And I actually think Apocalypse is one of the better ones, to be honest. I really do. I like Alice. I like Mila Jovovich Alice. I'm so tired. I get the names wrong. Extinction, I wasn't too keen on, to be honest. The whole desert thing was a bit, but it was alright. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't great. Do you know what I mean? It was alright. Resident Evil Afterlife. I remember putting this on and being really hooked into it. It had Wentworth Miller in it. It had, what do you call it in it? It had, Claire and Chris Redfield in it. It had Albert Wesker in it. It was awesome. The 3D was awesome as well, because I was watching the 3D version, and I loved it. And then I got a phone call and it totally took me out of the movie. I was like, ugh. But I really like this one. It's probably my favourites out of the series. Then you've got Retribution, which, to be honest with you, it isn't bad, but it plays more like a video game than it does a movie. If you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. But it's alright. It's alright if you think of it as just mindless fun. Then we've got Hatchet, which I've heard a lot of good things about, but I've never seen because I'm waiting to get number 2 and 3 so I can watch them all together. I've got a real problem. with that, I have to buy them all so I can watch them together. If I don't, then I can't watch it. Quarantine, which is another film I haven't seen, but I picked it up for $2. I've heard it's not a good movie, but you know, one person's crap is another man's treasure. Prince of Darkness, which is another film I haven't seen, but I got it from Shout Factory because it had Donald Pleasance in it. And to be honest with you, Donald Pleasance is the man. His name's the Stan Man. So, you know, I like him. So, I don't know where we go. Here we go, next pile. Dark City, which is another film I've never seen, but I'm looking forward to getting into. Yeah, a lot of these ones I'm going to say I haven't seen. But I'm just showing them to do my overview, to be honest. But I like talking a bit about them if I can, because, you know, it kind of builds up a relationship between me and you guys, and plus, you want to know what I think of them, don't you? You know? Bram Stoker's Dracula. I haven't seen this film in years, but I remember it being pretty good. Dawn of the Dead, the original one. I have to be honest with you, the Arrow version is a lot better because it's got like 3 different cuts. I'm thinking about buying the Japanese edition, which costs like $200 because it's beautiful and it's even special edition. So I'm thinking about picking that up, but I'm not sure yet. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead so much better, but Dawn of the Dead is a big fan cult favourite, as well as Night of the Living Dead, obviously. Fertility, I've never seen, but I've heard good things about and picked it up for $5. The Astronaut's Wife, where basically Johnny Depp returns and it turns out that he's impregnated her with an alien. This was when Charlize Theron was a sexier woman, and when Johnny Depp was in pretty decent films and wasn't wearing makeup all the time. Other than him having sex with her up against the wall and getting her pregnant with an alien, I can't remember anything else about this. Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis and Ron Silver. Basically, what happens in this movie is she shoots somebody, and the guy drops his gun, and Ron Silver steals it, and he ends up shooting people with it. And in reality, they would have wondered where that had gone, and they would have contacted people to get the gun. So, you know, a bit weird, and it would have been on camera. But it's one, I really like this film. I like this film a lot. I got the Germany one, because it was all region, and I thought, you know, why not? Secret Window, which is a real psychological horror. I like this movie because you think that it's someone else, but it turns out to be him, and it's a good film. The Ninth Gate is about a book writer, or a book dealer, but I can't remember anything else about the movie. I saw it ages ago, so it's one of those films I have to watch from Roman Polanski. Another movie I've never seen, Pulse, but I plan on watching pretty soon. So, yeah. Now we've got a 4-pack of films. Dracula 2000. That one there, which I saw, and to be honest with you, it's really cheesy. And it turns out that he is, I think it's Judas, was it? Judas, or was he? It's somebody. But anyway, I think it was Judas. And he turned into Dracula. And it's really cheesy, and a bit where he's trying to seduce her and everything. I mean, I'm sure Gerald Butler really hates watching the film over now, because he looks so young and so silly in the movie. Then you've got Dracula 2, which is dreadful. Dracula 3, which is even worse. And then you've got They, which isn't too bad. Dracula 2, if I remember right, it's in a warehouse where people just running around killing each other. And number 3 is just, I don't know, I've never watched it. They is great. Now, I used to own the complete collection, but at the moment I only own 2 of them. And that's Final Destination 2. Which, honest with you, I like the second one a lot better than the first one. I think the deaths are a lot more inventive and a lot more fun. Plus, the chances of a crash on a motorway are more likely than a plane crashing, you know? So, I'm happy about it, or setting on fire, you know? And Final Destination. The Final Destination. Which isn't too bad, but again, I prefer number 2 over number 4. Number 5's not bad, I guess. Happy Birthday to Me and When a Stranger Calls. Haven't watched this yet, but I plan to pretty soon. I'm going to be saying that a lot. X-Ray and Schizoid. Now, X-Ray is a bit weird because he wants to kill this woman. She's in a hospital and basically kills all these people in really good ways. Like, there's this bit where he throws a sheet over a woman and he stabs her in the head with a needle. Awesome. But she's hiding and he's got a serious breathing problem because he's like this. And you're like, okay, mate, calm down. So I liked X-Ray. I thought X-Ray was pretty good with Barbie Benton. And Schizoid was pretty interesting because Klaus Kinski's in it, and he's dating this woman whose ex-husband she works with. And basically her friends get killed off one by this killer. And you're like, who's doing it? I can't believe who's doing this. And basically it turns out to be her ex-husband because he's psychotic. And it's not Klaus Kinski. So we get quite upset because we all want it to be Klaus Kinski. Bad Dreams and Visiting Hours. Visiting Hours isn't too bad. It's very slow. I didn't really like the killer much. You know, I didn't really like the killer much. And I didn't like the main woman either. You know, Visiting Hours was fun. But it's those films you'd watch once. I'm sure there's people out there that love it, but me, I didn't. I didn't like it at all. On the other hand, Bad Dreams was pretty good. She was part of a cult, and basically they all burnt and died, and she survived, and she keeps seeing the bloke. And she's in a mental hospital, and people end up dying. And she thinks it's because of him, but it's medication problems. But the original ending is the bloke who's getting medication goes off the roof. But I like the alternative ending, where she goes back to the house that burnt down, and she sees them all in there, sitting in there, going, we want you to join us. You know, the cult that burnt. And basically, what happens is she cuts his throat, and all their throats cut, and they all die. And she walks out and drops the knife. And to be honest with you, I think that would have been a better ending. But anyway, so that was that. Then we've got the original Lost Boys, which I think is a classic movie. Very classic, probably one of the best movies of all time, vampire-wise. And then you've got the shitty sequels, Lost Boys The Tribe, and Lost Boys The First. Dreadful movies, dreadful. I'm Edgar Frog, and I'm homeless, and I live in a trailer, and all vampires are scared of me. But really, I'm just a faggot who goes around with a sword who's no better than anybody else. Rubbish. Dreadful. Incredibly dumb. 5 Dolls for the August Moon, which basically has people getting murdered one by one and stuck in the freezer. The ending's quite unique and quite good. I really like this movie. Kidnapped is based on the film Rabid Dogs. The sad thing is the story doesn't really make sense because Rabid Dogs was the real story and it was being filmed and basically it got put on hold and basically was released again like 10, 15 years later. So, to be honest with you, I was a bit disappointed with this. I won't buy this. I won't buy the other one either, even though it was supposed to have Rabid Dogs on it because I can't find it. So, that was very disappointing, to be honest. Stoker. I don't think this really needs much said. It's a good film. Very, very psychological and very creepy in ways, but also very dark and very humorous. Stoker. It's a good movie. I recommend everybody at least see it once. Death Proof, where Kurt Russell drives a stunt car over people's faces. Now, this movie, to be honest with you, I like it when they shoot him in the arm and they chase him. I like that. And the bit where they punch him to death. That's awesome. And I like how he kills Rose McGowan as well, where he goes, "What way you going?" And she goes, "I'm going that way." And she goes, "Oh, that's too bad. I was hoping we could last a little bit longer, but now you're gonna die." You know, I like that. I think that's great. That proves a great film. The Reanimator. Which, to be honest with you, I really like this film. I like the whole project of reanimating people and bringing them back. To be honest with you, the bloke is really creepy. Jeffrey Combs is very creepy and very dark in the role. And to be honest with you, I thought that made it better. Because I've seen Return of the Reanimator on DVD and I didn't like it. But The Reanimator is a great movie. I highly recommend The Reanimator. I want to see Bride of the Reanimator. So tired, I tell you. I'm so tired. I've got 2.5 stacks left. I don't know how long this has been so far, but if you're still watching, thanks for sticking through. And tell me what you think. You know, tell me what you think of the. Tell me what you think of my collection, and tell me what you like. Maniac, the original one from I think the 70s, is it? 1980. This film's so dark and it's so gloomy, and it feels so real. It feels like you're watching like your life being really dark, but you're hearing things and seeing things, and it's very, very creepy, and that's what you want. I like this movie. I found it great. But I have to admit, I like the remake more with Elijah Wood. Maybe because it's the time and because of the way it is. You know? And the remake with Elijah Wood where he says, it's just so creepy. This has a lot more creepiness to it than the first one, in my view, than the original one. Because he does this talking. And because Elijah Wood's got this weird voice, it just sounds like really creepy and whiny. You know? And the ending is just great. I can't recommend this or the other one that much. I just can't not recommend it enough. They're great. I really recommend people get these. You know, Maniac is an awesome film. I don't know why, but I really like this film. Now, a lot of people can give me flack for that, and that's Obsession. I have a real thing for Beyonce and Ali Larter and Idris Elba. I don't know why, but I really like the whole Fatal Attraction horror kind of thing. You know, and Ali Larter plays it off so well. I've seen this film about 8 times, I think. I have no idea why I like it so much, I just don't. The Prowler. Now, this is a great horror film in itself. I mean, the kills are fantastic. The whole idea of it's an old army guy is excellent because that was fresh, you know. It was different. It was new. It was amazing. Set from the 1940s, just great, you know, to now, you know, to 80s. I mean, some of the kills are just awesome. Holding the guy's mouth and stabbing him in the head, you know, and the ending's just amazing. I like it. I really like this film, Prowler. Is this the one? I think it is, yeah. I watched Rest Stop, which was a terrible movie. I think James said he wanted to get the next one, because I've got both of them. And I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't watched the second one, because this one was so appalling, it screamed independent, to be honest. And it was alright, but it wasn't anything really good. Like, it's a bit where she shoots a police officer in the mouth, and he doesn't die. And they just shoot him again. And it turns out he's not even there. You know, and you're just like, what? You know, and it's alright, but it's nothing special. Nothing special at all. Like I said, I haven't seen the second one. I'm going to eventually, but I haven't seen it, so. Then we've got the original I Spit on Your Grave, and aka Day of the Woman. Now, I originally saw I Spit on Your Grave years ago on DVD. And the rape scene, now it's uncut, to be honest, because it wasn't uncut in England. It's not that good. It's pretty crap, to be honest. You know, I've seen worse ones. Obviously, at the time it was worse than it is now. And to be honest with you, I like it. I like the film a lot. But there's a lot of stupidness to it. Basically, it says that men in the 70s were stupid. Like, the bloke who's got severe mental health issues, he lets her just hang the rope around his neck, and basically lets her hang him. Then the guy who raped her lets her get in the bath with him. Why would you let the woman you raped in a bath with you? If I raped a woman, I'd be nowhere near her, because she might cut my penis off like she did with him. And then you've got the two other blokes, and one jumps in the water. I think both of them jump in the water, actually. One goes up right by where the fan thing to go through the water is, you know, like the speed thing. And the other one gets next in the back. You're like, this is shit. The movie's great, but it's shit the way they died. I guess it's realistic to a degree, the last two, because people were stupid enough to swim after people, weren't they? So, they had a woman, an alright film, but to be honest with you, the commentaries are the best part. Because the bloke goes, this is about a woman finding herself and becoming an independent woman. And you're like, an independent woman after getting raped, hey mate, you know? Some people, no class. I Spit on Your Grave, the remake. The terrible remake with bad CGI crows packing out people's eyes and stuff. Now, to be honest with you, I ain't seen it in a while, but I remember it being really bad. And I bought it again because I saw it for $2. I know, I'm a sucker. And I want to get number 2. I don't know why they made a second one, but I want to get it, you know? So I might pick that up in a couple of weeks. I Spit on Your Grave, the unrated edition. Trick or Treat, which, to be honest with you, is a great film that kind of just makes all these different stories together. I really like it. I like the Sandbag Boy. I just like the whole film. If you've seen it, you'll know why I like it. Sucky Sucky's in it from True Blood, and she does some sucky sucky. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so tired. Oh. Excuse me if I'm a little bit because it's 2:03 AM now, and I started this I think at 11:30. I think. The Apparition, which was terrible. It was another one of those weird movies, which was kind of fan footage, I guess. It was just dreadful. Don't go for it. The Intruder, set in a grocery store. I didn't like this movie at all. I thought it was dreadful. The only best thing was seeing Sam Raimi and seeing Bruce Campbell. Other than that, it was dreadful. Taking Lives is a great film. I really like this film. It's quite scary in ways, but it's a great film. I recommend it. The Faculty. I really loved this film when I was younger. I haven't seen it since, but I remember to test whether or not aliens, they'd sniff like this cocaine stuff. Otherwise, they didn't trust you and they thought you were some sort of alien, you know? So that was pretty good. The film itself, when Famke Janssen has the little legs and she's going about just on her head, that was excellent. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen it since then, but I love this movie. Sorority Row, where basically there's somebody going around killing people, and the kills are actually pretty good. I like it. I did like the ending. I thought the ending was really good. The bit where Carrie Fisher, is it Carrie Fisher? Yeah, Carrie Fisher is shooting at the guy and he's kind of floating through and the bullets are missing him is ridiculous. But the movie itself is great. I really like this movie. I love it. To be honest with you, I really, really love it. Okay. Walled In. I haven't seen it. I saw the first 10 minutes and I've got to watch it properly, so I haven't seen it. The Visitor, which is a Draft F Films Italian film. Again, I haven't seen it, but it looks very creepy. The Visitor. Fright Night 2. The New Blood, aka piece of shit. You know, I bought this for $4.99 because it was recommended to me by somebody who will not be named. Yes, that's right. And basically it's just crap. You know, if anybody says to me, should I buy this, Malk? I'd say no. If it's $1, should I buy it, Malk? No. If it's 50 cents, should I buy it, Malk? No. If it's free, should I take it? No. It's dreadful. Awful film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I really like this one. I like the grandpa, you know. And I love how Leatherface has that chainsaw sex to the woman, like he rubs his crutch up against him, rubs it up against hers. There's something really erotic about that scene. I remember when I was younger, I used to masturbate to it. Woo! Yeah, those were the days. And Dennis Hopper's awesome in it too. And I like that it's got some of the original cast in it as well. Then we've got Texas Chainsaw. Now I was looking forward to this, and to be honest with you, I hated it. The bit where she says to him, "Do what you do best, hunk." You know, throws him the chainsaw over. You're like, what? You're passing a psychopathic killer a chainsaw. I hope he cuts you up. But nope. Instead, she realises she's a part of his family. He goes back down in the basement with the door locked, and she gives him a cup of tea. It turns out it's very simple. Turns out it's very alone. So I felt a bit bad for him. I have to admit, who doesn't want to just grab hold of a chainsaw sometimes and just kill people? But some of the worst parts of the movie were the bits where, like, he was running through the playground, the fairground, he didn't kill anybody. You know, what happens to the times when you get the killers run and they'd be slicing people up on the way through? Like, fuck you and all this, you know? But anyway, The Incredible Melting Man, dreadful movie. It's obvious it was from the 70s because it's terrible. I really didn't like this at all. Devil, people are stuck in the lift and basically one by one they're getting killed and they want to know why. It turns out that it's by a mystical false thing that's going after them, and basically it's fun. It's a fun movie. I recommend watching it on YouTube or Netflix or downloading or something and maybe buying it if you like it. Oh dear. Mary Mary Bloody Mary, which isn't that great, but people like it. The Redeemer, aka in my top 10 now, thanks to Kelly. Yay! Neon Maniacs. That's right. Every time when I first watched this, I was trying to name every single one of them by people I know, but it didn't work out because there's 12 and I only know 4 people. So it didn't work out. Nail Gun Massacre, so bad it's good. Look at that cover. I love this cover. Her breasts are about to pop out and he's nailing her. Get that? He's nailing her. He's going to nail her. I like that. That's quite good. That's quite fun. Oh dear. Nearly near the end. Just 1.5 stacks left to go. My Bloody Valentine original. This is one of my favourite films of all time. Anybody who knows me has heard me mention this countless times in my top 3. That's right. I love the killing. I love the whole Valentine's Day aspect. I love it when that guy sets up the outfit and laughs every time he opens the door, and then he goes and kills him. I love that. I love the person who's in the freezer or fridge. It's just awesome. It's a great movie. It's probably my favourite. It's probably my favourite movie of all time. My Valentine 3D, great remake and a bit of a different storyline. Just Before Dawn, great atmosphere, awesome to watch, but awful killer. Fortress, sci-fi future, scary trucks come to life and try and run you over, as well as other things. Night Train Murders, which basically used the same trade and the same story as the Last House on the left, except first they meet them on the train and they jump from the train and die, and then the people get off and they end up at the person's house, basically by meeting them at the train station. It's an Italian film. It's really good. Crush, which is another horror film, which I really liked, because I kept being the wrong person was the killer. And it was awesome. I really liked this. For a cheap horror movie, it was pretty good. Urban Legends, a film that I used to love, but not so much anymore. But I still like it a lot. It's just, it's not in my top 20 anymore. The Roommate, which I don't know why, but again, just like Obsession, I really like this movie and I've watched it multiple times. So, I don't know why, but, you know. Chernobyl Diaries, which is another fan footage movie. The film itself is quite atmospheric. It's quite, you know, has great atmosphere, but it's not a good film at all. But I enjoyed it a lot. I really did, especially the ending. Human Centipede. You know, everybody knows about the Human Centipede. Don't have to say anything about it. I liked it to a degree. Dark Angel with Dolph Lundgren and the guy was in Death Ring. Basically, an alien's on Earth and he's trying to stop him, and there's another alien trying to stop the alien as well. And Dolph Lundgren looks young in it. He doesn't look like an old age pensioner anymore. Two Evil Eyes, which has two different stories. One involves a dead guy, and basically the lover and the woman hearing him even though they've killed him. And basically things happen to them. And the second thing has Martin Bedlam and Tom Atkins. But the other one's the Black Cat. A deranged crime scene photographer is driven to brutal acts of madness and murder by his girlfriend's new pet. But will cunning feline deliver a final sickening twist of its own? You know, this. If you haven't seen Two Evil Eyes, I recommend it because it's one of those great Dario Argento, George Romero films. Basically, they do one each. Okay, we can skip through these ones easy. Wrong Turn, really good. Wrong Turn 2, not so bad. Wrong Turn 3, hysterically funny. Wrong Turn 4, Mental Asylum, not bad, but not great. Wrong Turn 5, okay, but not good. Now, in these movies, my favourite was always Three Fingers. I don't know why, but Three Fingers always pulled at my heartstrings. I love that guy. The skinny guy with the grey hair is like, I love that guy. I think he's awesome. I used to hope he was I used to think he was my dad. Yeah, because we had a lot in common. Because I used to go, you know, not really. But Slumber Party Massacre, not a bad film. Very dated, to be honest, but I love it. Silent Night, the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. It's alright, it's nothing special, more gore and a little bit of weirdness, and to be honest with you, it doesn't compare to Silent Night, Bloody Night, but it's a good try. We can go through these quick and on. Saw, amazing movie, great twist. The ending was incredible. I really liked it. Saw 2. Stuck in a house, a bit weird. Didn't really like it so much. Not as clever as the first one. Still okay, but nothing special. Nothing you haven't seen before. Saw 3 was pretty good. I did enjoy this one. The dad looking for redemption and finding his wife, basically. I like that. Number 4 with Riggs. Not that great. Wasn't too keen on it. The best bit was Detective Hoffman becoming the new member of the group of Jigsaw's apprentices or proteges, whatever you want to call them. Detective Hoffman kind of made it better. Mark Hoffman, he made it better. I like him. I thought he was great. Number 5, great ending. Loved the ending. Thought this one was awesome, to be honest. I really like number 5. Number 6, dreadful. Wasn't keen on it at all. Didn't like it that much. Thought the story was very boring and bland. Number 7, very CGI'd, and to be honest with you, a bit of a letdown because it was too much CGI and it just seemed really weird and really coloured, you know? So I didn't really like that very much. Okay. And 2 who I haven't seen, My Soul to Take, and one missed called the American version. I've seen the Japanese version and that was really good. But I doubt the American one is. Let's hold them up again. So yeah, them 2. And now on to the final stack. Here we are. Oh dear, let's have a look. Let's see if I can get on there. Oh, there we go. Riddick, I haven't seen yet, but I'm looking forward to it. More sci-fi than horror really, but I'll put it in the horror section. The original Toolbox Murders. The first half an hour was great, where he's basically killing people with drills and hammers and stuff like that. And then it just gets really stupid with him being obsessed, thinking she's his daughter who died and stuff. I hated that. I thought it was boring. But I like some of the stuff in it, like when the guy hits on her and he threatens to kill him and stuff. Great movie. The Island, I haven't seen it, but I'm looking forward to seeing it eventually. Haunting in Connecticut and Haunting in Connecticut 2. I haven't seen either of them, but I'm hoping to see them soon. I keep saying that. Dark Skies, haven't seen it. Probably will eventually, but I haven't yet. Red Riding Hood, another one I haven't seen, but I'm open to. Dress to Kill, which is a Brian De Palma film, which I'm hoping to watch pretty soon, to be honest with you. It's one of those I really mean to watch, but I just don't have the time. Shout Factory's Vampire Lovers, which is a Hammer House one, which has a little bit of kinkiness in it, to be honest. I haven't seen it yet, but I wanted to. Evil Spake, which is another film I want to see, which I got with Final Exam, to be honest. I was going to watch it straight after, but I didn't have the time. I was too tired. So, also just changed the time. So, yeah, I need to get to that. Tower Block, I saw this on the English Blu-ray. And I liked it. Basically, what happens is some boys running through the building and the tower block, and basically 2 guys beat him to death, basically, and drag him off. Basically, beat him and drag him off. Nobody helps him. So this person with a sniper rifle decides they want to take revenge and kill some of the tenants. And to be honest with you, the story doesn't make sense to a degree, but it's fun. I really liked it. I found it very good. For an English film, it's awesome. Swamp Thing, which I haven't seen, but I'm really looking forward to watching soon. Gothika, which is a very disturbing, fantastic film. This film is one of those things that's disturbing and will stay with you forever. I like it. I think it's awesome. The Prophecy 5-movie set. I haven't seen these in years. I remember watching 1, 2 and 3, but I've never watched 4 and 5. I like Christopher Walken. I think he's awesome in these movies, but he's not in the 4th and 5th one, so you never know if it's going to be any good or not. Freeze, aka Night Watch, Ewan McGregor works in the night shift basically of a mall, and somebody's killing people, and basically him and Josh Brolin get involved, and they think Josh Brolin's the killer, and you know, Turns out to be Nick Nolte, basically. It's a good film. Bad Blu-ray release, though. The quality of it's terrible. Galileo, which is a Dario Argento film. It's a dreadful film, but I can't get rid of it because I'm a big Dario Argento fan. And to be honest with you, the idea of getting rid of one of his films is sacrilege to me because he's a genius. Unless it's on DVD, like Mother of Tears, so I can throw it in the bin. Piranha from 2008, I think this is. It doesn't say, but I think it is because it's got Vin Mimes in it. So it won't be anywhere close to an old one. Jeepers Creepers, very creepy at the beginning until you find out what he actually is, and then it's kind of like the Wishmaster makes a farm, basically. Just terrible. The Fourth Kind, this was in my recent update, but I haven't watched it yet. So I can't really say anything about it. But I'm looking forward to. They come down, basically just like Tower Block. People are in a tower block and they're trying to do a pirate radio station. One by one they get killed. It's not a bad film, but it's nowhere as good as Tower Block. If you were going to pick one or the other, I'd pick Tower Block because they're both English films. Killer Nun, about a nun who basically has sexual wishes, and she goes out and you think, is she the killer? And it turns out it's this other nun who's a dirty little hoe, and basically she has sex with this guy and all sorts of things. And there's plenty of murder going on in it, you know, so it's not bad. The Nest, haven't seen it. Want to obviously get round to it, but haven't. Death Valley, another film I've been wanting to see, but haven't got round to. Strip Nude for Your Killer, which has a lot of nudity in it and has somebody going around killing people in biker gear, just like What Have They Done to Your Daughters, basically. This film is one of my favourite Gallios of all time, and it's got Edwin French in it. I love her, I think she's beautiful. Even Nia, she's a bit of alright at 70 years old. But yeah, that's good. It's a good film. I recommend it. The Getaway, which actually is pretty good as well in itself. It's not the best film in the world, but it's okay. I recommend picking it up cheap and watching it, because if you don't know what happens in it, it's a good film. The Mimic Trilogy 1, 2 and 3. I saw number 1 years ago, but never saw 2 and 3. And first can't remember anything about them, but I've got the trilogy set here. 1 is on its own disc and 2 and 3 are on their own disc together, so yeah. Beetlejuice, no need to explain this. This is a classic comedy horror movie with Michael Keaton. The Grudge, aka Piece of Crap. Nowhere as good as the original. Don't like Sarah Michelle Gellar. Don't like the boy who plays the Grudge boy. Think it's ruined. The Messenger with Kirsten Stewart. Haven't seen it yet. Not sure if I will anytime soon, so I'll be in the mood to watch it. But, you know. Stakeland, which somebody recommended James to watch, but I haven't watched it yet. I plan to eventually, but I never have, and I got it cheap. I think it was like $6 with the discount. Daybreakers, as people know, I got this recently, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. The Dead, which is another film I got recently, which I haven't had a chance to watch. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth. Godzilla Tokyo SOS and Godzilla Final Wars. Hellraiser Bloodline. Don't remember it. Hellraiser Bloodline, Hellraiser Inferno, Hellraiser Hellseeker, Hellraiser Hellworld. Well, Hellseeker and Hellworld are dreadful. they're not really even Hellraiser movies, so I don't recommend them at all. I recommend the first four, to be honest, because they're the best ones. You know, if you want to go for proper Hellraiser stuff. The original Evil Dead. To be honest with you, I've never seen the original Evil Dead. I saw 2 and I've seen 3, but I've never seen number 1. So maybe get round to it. Evil Dead 2, which I really liked, to be honest with you. I thought this was great. And I thought it was really funny, and I thought it was a great movie to watch. I love the Book of the Dead. Evil Dead 3, aka Army of Darkness. This is fantastic. Very funny, very comical, doesn't take itself too seriously, and is a great watch. So I highly recommend watching this. If it's $50, you buy it, because it's awesome. And last but not least, the Evil Dead remake. I haven't watched this yet either, but I plan to. It looks pretty good. So that's my whole horror Blu-ray collection. We got through it. I'm so proud of us all for watching it and getting through it. Oh, I have to now clear it all up. So I'm glad. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of the collection, and let me know what films you like, and yeah, just in general, let me know, you know. So thanks for watching, and I will be doing another overview soon, probably of action movies or TV or something like that. So I will talk to you all soon, and thank you for watching, and take care.